Hello. I hope everyone's doing okay in these corona virus times, scary times. I've throughout the last few months I've read a lot of comments on just random comments, not even like believers or anything that, we'll pull through, we got to get through this. Man, I can't even imagine if it was just a little bit worse than what it is. Can you imagine if it was just a little bit worse? People are this is bad for some people. This is like suffering for people, I guess. They don't, we, we as a whole don't know what suffering is, I guess, or like physically. And, many people, um, that live in this country, United States, we don't know what suffering is, physical suffering. Doesn't, I'm not speaking for every individual, but just as a whole, as a nation. But the, I don't know how I'd have to look into a little more, but it's not like I did this and counted and verified this title, but I think it's pretty close to the truth. There's at least hundreds. So from Matthew to Revelation, if you were to put a little mark on every little, even remotely, that sounds like a commandment. There's a lot. Let's just say that there's a lot. There's hundreds at least throughout the whole New Testament. Count them all. If it's a little bit different, count it. Has a little bit different twist, has a little different meaning. Well, that's another commandment. Um, so this is why it's as I've found it to be a false teaching that living like Messiah did is a heavy burden, and we have to keep all like, oh my goodness, there's hundreds of things. No, it's not even like that. It's not even like that. They're coming from a wrong everything. Everything's wrong when you do that. If you're just walking in the spirit, if you truly are, assuming you're already keeping so many of the things written down. You're already keeping like dozens and dozens, hundreds maybe of command, just by truly walking in the spirit, you're keeping many of these things already. Um, so it's a false premise, false accusation, false teaching. It puts it in a dark light from like debt. Like we're in debt now. We're a debtor to keep all now. Hey, I don't even know what I said the last few seconds, including Paul. Paul had a lot of commandments, and I'm not making this some kind of legal kind of thing. I'm just trying to make the point that it's not that bad. It's not thousands of things to think of every day, you just walk in the spirit. Your mind is clean and it's not perverted. You're already keeping like many of these things, many of his commandments. But there's a lot of different in the New Testament alone. If you were to just keep everything it said, you would end up being the same person, understanding the spiritual meaning of these commandments and keeping them like this too, our mind, our heart. You would be the same person. You would do the same things. And that's I think this video is going to be short because that's just the only point. Just something to think about. There's a lot of different unique commandments, in the New Testament. Like they're not written in a commandment style, but whether it's from the book of Matthew or Luke or Paul's letters or Revelation, there's a lot of different things. Never told to look out for anyone to hear out and follow. JC never told to look out for anyone to hear out and follow. I'm not sure I know right now what JC is. Is that a person or that I should know? Or a group? Um, I have to look at your site or whatever you wanted me to do a while back, and I just haven't done it yet. Or your YouTube channel more or something. There was something I remember you wrote. JC taught the doctrine of the Father. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, I got it. Sorry. I was like, what's JC? Well, I mean, there's people out there that are seeing his writings in a new light, that they're saying that, you know, going by one by these claims that Paul taught something different and deconstructing them, or not deconstructing, but link me. Oh, like right now. How do I even do that? Should be like an email or something, isn't it? Oh, invite, duh. That's the link. Yeah, I don't know who to send it, or what link or email to send it. Take the URL link from the top of your page. I got the link copied. I just don't know what email. You know what I mean? I need to send it to your email, right? Oh, I put your comment on there. Give it here. Okay, there it is. I guess I could give it to you like that, or I could send it, right? There's more than one way of doing this. concavewater@gmail. Okay, I sent it. Trying to click. There it goes.
Yes.
Hey, hold on.
Finally. Do you know, Ryan, right?
Yeah, I think you wanted to talk a while back, and I never got back to you, but
yeah, don't worry about it. It's like if I was famous and and you knew who I was, and you knew that millions of people knew who I was, and I got your attention, then you'd be like, oh yeah, let's talk tomorrow. But it's because when people are unknown, everybody just treats everybody like an unknown. But I'm here to try put an end to that and round up everyone that's like us, because you're seriously on the path, and I can tell that, and that's why I've approached you. And there's lots of us like that, and we're all just going to get stuck with and not noticed, and with no progress or anything. If we try to unite on a few simple things, like we're Christian, we're against the Luciferians, we're trying to bring everyone to Christ, and I'm having to really make a push for Earth is concave. That's how I found you, like, straight away, because you made a concave Earth video.
oh yeah, I put that in the title.
So 3 years ago, I it took me a while. I thought Earth was flat, or it might have been, but I did appreciate that I didn't have a model, and I was constantly looking to satisfy myself and know that there was a working model. Realized there wasn't, found all the proofs that I needed of concave. Then after I made the move to be a concaver and start pushing concave and trying to fight it like that, soon realised that it's just not welcome everywhere, and the flat Earth's being pushed. Flat Earth's being pushed. If you think of it, like the elite control YouTube and Facebook, and they have loads of agents on there pushing flat Earth. Couple of concave agents, because they just like to control everything. So I've been at war for like at least 4 years just in the cosmology stuff. But you know, LSC, who you called out. Sorry, you made a video about LSC.
LSC.
Lord Stephen Christ.
Oh yeah. I've seen a lot of his stuff. Yeah.
What I'll tell you, story with him. What story with him is that about a decade ago, he started making little videos, and then it was like this big story that he threatened to assassinate Obama, and so it was taken out of the scene for 33 months. Yeah, which just sounds like suspicious on its own, like they're giving you like some symbolism. Like yeah. I run that group CC, and I can't help that, you know, Christian, Concave, Cell, it's all just letters beginning with C, so there's no intention or purpose there. It's just what we were calling ourselves before we founded it, and we could change the name of it, you know, but there's no point. But LSC was like being used like the elite's gatekeeper to be teaching concave Earth and be the known guy for it, so that someone like me and you can't come along and start a real movement. They just like to control everything. They'd been doing it 100 years ago. They had a guy called Cyrus Teed. They had one guy teaching concave Earth with a little cult around it, and then flat Earth was pretty big. They had like Flat Earth Society and loads of agents. So they've done it again. They've got loads of flat Earth stuff going on, and then just a tiny little concave thing going on. And I was watching the scene for about 3 years, and there was like no changes. It was all the same. And then a couple of months after I like settled on concave, I just waited a bit, and then I like transitioned from like being a flat earther that was like entertaining a bit of concave stuff to just telling everyone it's concave. The elite are running flat Earth and this LSC thing, and telling everyone like this flat Earth thing's like the enemy, and we need to stop it. And I've been on that mission since for the last 3 years. 18 months after I called out LSC, I founded Christian Concavers in the public. And at first I wasn't really like making a Christian issue and thing out of it, but it just became more and more like that. After I called out LSC, they soon like retired him and deleted his channel. So that's like his channels that you see now are new ones they're like new channels since after, and they've basically retired him. Said that he's threatened to assassinate a president again.
Isn't he in prison or something right now? I'm not. Somebody said that on his channel.
We're told from like the other trolls and the cult members around him that he's in the mental home for threatening to assassinate, but it's all psyops, bro. Psyops, you know what I'm saying? Psyops. Psychological. Yeah, right. The problem hasn't really actually been physics and the fact that people are wrong or can't understand or do physics very well. It's all psyops. I could present you the information and you'd just see, yeah, it's concave. But you have to get past all the nonsense and find it, and find someone that's in support of it that you can trust. Well, do you get 3 4 years ago, it was really hard for people to do that. There was so few concavers. But I like broke the truth 3 years ago for this concave stuff. And then the elite have provided on Facebook and a few on YouTube antichrist concavers pushing this black sun stuff where they deny that there's an octahedron in the center. So it started off, it was just LSC, one group, really quiet. He was saying he was God, but he was letting you know and showing the radar imagery for the octahedron heaven that's in the center. And now they've put him to bed. They infiltrated me and the group that I run with this guy that's called Zenith Atlas. that's really well known and popular in the Concave scene. He's one of the trolls. All the trolls support him.
I've
Do you get?
seen his. I don't think he's made anything new lately, right? I've
Yeah,
seen
it's just
some of his videos, but
it's complicated, but these trolls are just into everything. So I've like not seen it coming and had to like and learn. Like there's been very few occasions where I've just stumbled onto something and just known instantly that it's a troll. Like Nathan Oakley, Orphan Red, a couple of flat earthers. You know, because I knew LSC was a troll, when Neil and Harvey came into it, I just sort of figured troll straight away. But I still had to be like, maybe he's just young and been dragged into it and duped by it. But a few years ago, I had to really like, you have to know Jesus to know what LSC is and stuff. Do you know what I mean? LSC was luring the world into the concave model and wowing everyone, and people were falling for it. Because there were trolls running around saying that he is God, but then there were genuine people actually seeming to fall for it. And we're all so vulnerable.
Yeah, I find him, Ellis, or Stephen Christ. I found he's just bizarre, just because he doesn't come across to me as stupid, like worldly stupid. He comes across like he knows what he's talking about when he's talking about the model and everything. But he, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to discern some of this stuff when someone starts saying that they're God.
It's psyop.
It looks like he's convinced, but I don't know that. Do you see it that he actually believed that, or that's all?
I studied it enough. What I can't be honest in, I couldn't honestly say that I've studied Cyrus Teed enough, but it happened 100 years ago and you were very limited. I've definitely studied LSC over a period of about 3 years and watched what happened after I called him out, watched him try to defend. They've then got rid of him. There's this woman kicking around called Rhonda Henderson, but she has a channel called Veronica May. It's the woman who turned up in your comment section.
Yeah, no, I remember that. Yeah.
The elite staged a relationship with them two for the cameras. While, for a couple of months, she runs around now the internet saying that he's definitely genuine, definitely like genuine and crazy and wrong, and not an agent, not an elitist. What's going on is these Luciferians, and they've got all the mainstream rigged, and they run all the big stuff, and then they've got loads of agents out in alternative, and they were doing it 100 years ago, and they're doing it again now. And yeah, have you heard of the term controlled opposition?
Oh yeah, I'm familiar with these terms and some of what's going on there.
Vladimir Lenin said like 100 years ago, the best way that they control the opposition. So they've got flat Earth and they dominate it, and then just this little tiny, like, it was just LSC. Now they've got more going on. Like, LSC is not really the threat now. Joshua James Bolliero is as a group of truthers, we've come along and like, wow, we've caught you out, and we've tried to get some attention and say that we're the truthers and we know what's going on. And do you get me? And then they've just sent someone in, and I've like embraced him because I'm wanting people to talk with and work with. So the elite have sent an agent in, an ex-flat Earth troll, to go in and join the group of us. So I'm working with people behind the scenes, but they don't make videos and come out talking like you are doing now. So I put a call out on Facebook. I've been doing it for years, just trying to talk to genuine people. I'm trying to make my way onto the trolls videos and live streams just to get on and stuff. Like, I've literally been at war, bro. There's a little pack of witches and these trolls around this concave stuff, and they're targeting my channel with sock accounts like all the time. Every now and again, I see them make a video of my title and name, like, and I'll turn up and put a comment in, and they'll say, "Do you want me to come on?" And So I know that I'm talking with my enemy. I'm top truther, talking with these trolls, these enemies, managing to just get all this stuff out about Concave. They're hiding God in the center. So, there was the canon process. Some were in, some were out. It's like if the probably like one Enoch's all right and the other two are not, and then these other gospel books that didn't get canonized, like Philip. It says in the Gospel of Philip, Father is the innermost. Now, around, like, I got born again to end of 2014. I pretty much got into flat earth, like, soon after, found Concave soon after. And I was on a real mission back then. I'd just gone from, like, being the watchman and learning truth, but I was on a real mission, like, finding stuff that was just supporting Concave everywhere. And reading through the scripture and all that extra canonical stuff. And yeah, just like, I'm looking into Concave and trying to justify it and figure it out. And then I find this quote saying, like, Father's the innermost. And for me, it's like the revelation took place. I mean, there might be another revelation, but the major revelation of our time kind of took place like 3 years ago. 3 years ago when I called out LSC, and it's just taking its time to get out. The Matrix film, it's about like going up against like the gatekeepers, like getting born again, getting out of the Matrix, and then Neo has to go up against the gatekeepers. Before I founded Christian Concavers, I was basically based in the group that I'd set up before called Gatekeepers, like shills, trolls, and gatekeepers. Like, we're at war with these controlled opposition agents. So you've got all the truthers, and they're all like into scientism, or they've picked a religion, and they focused on the elite, but they're dealing and dabbling with the trolls. You can't see it. Because it's all good content and everyone's happy and there's all this fake love. It's literally, there's just this network of fake agents that dominate not just cosmology and flat earth and concave earth. It's like everyone you could think of, like, pretty much. Like, where I'm at now, like, and you're here because you're born again, and you know that there's the Father and the Son, and you're here now at Concave Earth. So you are a Christian Concave. You just not you don't know where you stand with everything and everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've just met you, and you're thinking, is it Masonic because it's CC and it's 33? Nah, if the closer you pay attention to Concave Earth, you'll see what I'm trying to do is like get it out and known to be like a Christian truth, so everyone knows that it's Jesus's dad, and you can't have some Muslims picking it up and saying it's Allah. I honestly, right, I've declared myself the leader of all Christians. So like, what I'm saying is I'm your leader. I'm not bothered if I'm older than you or younger than you. I'm your leader, and if you wanted to say, no man, you're the leader, then you just lead, and you lead us all. And it's that logical approach where, like, Jesus leads us all, or God anoints a leader and the leader anoints us all. As a bunch of born-again Christians on a mission, we should get together and pick a leader somehow. You know, like it just organically, naturally should occur. So I'm advocating all this stuff that I see, like it's either the fulfillment of prophecy, or I'm just pushing it in a direction where it's going to go anyway. Do you get me? I'm kind of using scripture as a guideline. Like, I've made a group, this Christian Concavers, declared myself leader in order to get attention, to get everyone to this concave revelation. I'm not declaring myself leader because I've got any sort of change of doctrine or I'm trying to impose anything like that. I tell people, like, you don't need to like me, and it's not a personality thing. It's, it's okay if you don't like me. Just acknowledge we're all in a war, and we just all need to get attention here and unite. Kind of like we've all been played. You've all been played and put to sleep. So they've got governments, churches, whatever, but they've taken, like, Jesus used to talk about the kingdom, preach the gospel of the kingdom. It's like his kingdom as opposed to Satan's kingdom, the other kingdom. And all the people that are like church, 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 or this denomination and that denomination. For the last year, I've been like, right, there's two kingdoms. So all the born agains, I'm appealing to all the born agains. We unite, we forge what is the kingdom. We have a patriarchy. We're not taking it off Masons or the mainstream. People like me and you create it. So which country are you in, America or Canada?
US in Oregon.
So as far as I'm concerned, if you just said, yes, I'm 100% CC, then I'll just say, right, you can run it then. You're the national leader for CC. Because that's what I'm trying to get going. Do you understand me? Like, I'm leading internationally, and I'm in England, so I'm the English leader. But I'd want a Welsh leader and a Scottish leader and an Irish leader. It needs to be like that. And we try to pool everyone, bypassing all the trolls to this truth and to this, like, network, this think tank of top truthers that we're going to go around and collate. So I'm acting like the good shepherd. Do you get me? I'm wanting to promote you and sell. I'm wanting to promote you and sell you. So I put your channel in my suggestions list. I've got a few Americans, but none of them are making content and making videos. You are. So if you were just promoting CC and your CC, then you can run it for America. You speak to Rick and Matt. You'll see that they're born again, they're genuine too. Matt's a bit shy. Rick will speak to you though. Do you get me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Are you on Facebook?
No, I used to be. I haven't had it for a few years.
Would you consider just opening one?
Doing what?
Would you consider just opening one up?
A Facebook?
Yeah.
I could.
Yeah. You know,
yeah, I mean,
do your bit for Concave and CC and whatever else you're doing, bro. I don't come to say like I'm your leader, I'm like your boss. No, Jesus is your boss. I know what's going on in this war. I know how to defeat the Black Sun cult, the Masons, the Jesuits, the Zionists, Islam with the Jihad, all of it. Do you get me? And anyone else can just add to it. And if someone ever came along and said, I'll take over, I could do it better, we'll all let him. Yeah, if he proves that he can, we'll let him. So I'm really trying to do like everything that can be done to, do you know, like the mainstream have got that massive stranglehold, and then there's the troll network that have got the second layer. They've got all the attention, they've got everyone. All we need to do is pull the top genuine truthers that are they're accepting Christ, they're born again. They're not going to argue that there's a father and a son. Yeah, you know that, don't you? It's Jesus wasn't the father.
Right. Yeah.
So that's all it is. It's like we need to have like a little bit of clarity. You'll see what I'm saying. When you get to Concave, there's all these different ideas. Nah, one group we're going to change the world with this. It's about God and Jesus. There's an octahedron in the center because this Concave is saying that there's no octahedron in the center, but there's CMOR imagery of it. And they've got nothing, just theoretical nonsense. They basically like want to skirt around the point that they've flipped it inside out and they're hiding something, and there is a deception. They want to carry on as atheists and Buddhists, these satanic trolls. Like everyone just carry on in the Matrix. It's just like Wi-Fi. Bro, for me, there's like, we need to know the word. So, you know, I've done my time. I couldn't tell you, like, I don't know all of the scripture off by heart. I can't, do you know what I mean? It's hard, isn't it? It's hard to like learn it all and remember it all. I can't remember.
I know.
So you have to click and flop back and forth, but when you're not studying the word and scripture, definitely check out my playlists. And yeah, there's a lot. So just as long as you're happy that like there's a section here, and as long as you feel familiar, but just make sure that you can see that there's a total war going on. It's like I've come along and the trolls are just having a like I'm having a war with the trolls, and a couple of people have been helping, like Matthew Holt in America, sending me screenshots showing me what these trolls are doing, because it's psyops, like psychological. So they put LSC out at sea, but they've onto Facebook loads of friendly concavers. A lot of them came along like saying I had a good video and thumb up and being my friend. Our enemies coming at us as our friends. Check out my prophecy playlist. Think about that there's been this concave earth revelation. Think about what happens at the end. Jesus comes back to open a door and knocks at a door. I've been seeing so much symbolism. I was thinking, well, what's the battle of Armageddon? I went and did a little search. The word for battle is polemos. It means campaign. It's not even. Do you know what I mean? There's so many ways. There's so much maneuverability and unsurety, uncertainty with what is going to happen and what is meant by the prophecy. But I've pretty much like I can interpret all of the revelation to be what I'm doing and what's going on at CC. Is a few lines like if Jesus comes down in Israel and splits a mountain in two, and I haven't done that, I wouldn't be able to do that. I'm not sure how to interpret that. There's no dead rising out of the grave. Like nothing supernatural happens, but there's a big string of events that do happen that are sort of quite clear, and it's all happened. So it's either what it is or it's a weird parallel, and it's all going to happen again. You know, like something's coming. You understand what I'm saying? Like Jesus says at the end, he sets a door and he stands knocking at a door. He sets a door before us. He stands knocking at a door. It's
Right.
like
Yeah.
Revelation 3 or something like that. And then Revelation 19:11, it's behold, I saw heaven opened and basically someone on a horse. It says that his name's like the King of Kings, Lord of Lords.
I'm not,
Revelation 19:11. It's like there's so much being going on, but just check it out. But yeah, over to you, bro. Ask some questions. Surely, like you've like got some questions, some way to poke or check or confirm or.
Right. Yeah. Well, I guess maybe I asked you, I don't know if I wrote in the comments what do you tell people like the most convincing, maybe not even the best, but the most convincing thing to prove that there's not flat or a globe, but a concave. In your mind, what's the thing that convinced you the most?
Concave, it's pretty simple. Just imagine, like do some like modeling in your mind. So if you had to make like the model, so straight away the model's got to be like a sphere or a cube. Do you get me? And then let's say you're gonna pick that it's like a cube. So you've got like a top, a middle, and a bottom. And there's either got to be like sphericity in all three, or it's all three are going to be flat, or all three are going to be concave. They have to line up. You have to be able to make a model like so. It's all geometry basically. I mean, I'll explain to you the physics after, but with geometry, if you just think like for argument's sake, top, middle, and bottom. It's actually the inside and then the middle bit and then the outside that's beneath us. But a flat earther would see it as top, middle, and bottom. So flat earthers, they're thinking like there's maybe a dome, and the outer space people are thinking there's stars in the distance out there. But as far as amateurs are concerned, we just see that there's like a layout to some constellations. So there's a certain like map of the stars, and there's the star trail phenomena. So there's like a celestial equator and the Milky Way band thing, and there's a pole. So there's two sets of concentric star trails, and they change directions. They change directions, and that just alone it's only working with sphericity. We can tell from like the way that you go to the north, and then there's these concentric trails, and you come down to the equator, and then there's these big trails, and then they've changed direction around the other hemisphere, and then the concentric circles start getting smaller again. So anyone that's honest with themselves and goes and checks it out thoroughly and is honest, you'll figure out there's only the spherical working map of the Earth and the stars, and that the star trails can't work above a flat plane. There's a crossover where you can see there's two hemispheres, and you can't have two hemispheres over a flat plane, and the other hemisphere is not like under the plane or anything. Nah, you go around the plane, you go around the Earth plane that we're on, and it can be mapped and it's spherical, and wherever you go, it works, that you can see that the stars are either inside or outside. So amateur people, they're happy that it's on the outside of a sphere, and they've told us there's heliocentrism and that there's all this movement and stuff, but the stars only actually work for, you know, what's like geocentric, stationary geocentric convex globe, where the Earth's just stationary, not moving in the middle, and then it'd have to have stars moving around it. So those are the only two models that actually work for the stars. For the Earth and the stars, it's just geocentric convex globe Earth and concave Earth. And the reason for that is because the truth is concave Earth, but if you invert it, if you try to just model it and put it on the outside and flip it inside out, which is what they do, and then the next stage they make is to say that, you know, it's the Earth's the center of the Earth's not the center, and the sun is, and there's loads of these systems, and they all shut out of the Big Bang. So they've turned concave Earth inside out, and then they change it more to make heliocentrism. But then, so that's the top left. If you're honest, and if you go double check all this stuff, you'll realize, yeah, there's this star trail phenomenon. Like you can see, like it feels like the Earth's stationary, and you can see the stars are all just like moving around like continuously, like it just goes round and round in a ball, like in a circle. And there's two hemispheres, and it only works in or outside. And there's a bit of a trick of the eye because of bending light, and you have like a dome of perspective. Like you can't see under the ground, but if there was no ground there, if you were flying through the sky like parachuting, then you'd have the underneath dome of perspective as well. But you have a dome of perspective because the range of your sight's equidistant, and it's just the sphericity. So LSC shows all that stuff, where you've got a dome of perspective. So when the sun swoops down above your little dome of perspective, it's not, the arch isn't appearing as it does. You know, it's instead of it looks like it's further away when it's above you, it's closer or whatever, or I might have said it the other way around. But anyway, top, middle, or bottom, it's really simple. Do the top and it's the stars, and it just rules out flat Earth straight away because it only works in or outside spherically. So if you move on to the bottom layer now, so the bottom two, which is like the middle one, would be if you could get some readings of the curvature of the Earth, or basically the curvature on the water, and it's concave. And I've found the evidence, the proof. There's radar of the terrain of the concavity of the terrain, and the water. Like Zenith Atlas shows the footage. There's a lake experiment. We're only looking for 8 inches per square mile with concavity, and it's there like 10 centimeters over a kilometer. I put this all in my playlist. I've got a playlist for it all on the Concave Earth Christians channel. And then that just leaves the bottom layer. So the top layer you've ruled out flat. The second layer, the water and the land, works for concave. And there's actually bending light that's stopping you from like seeing the concavity. So they point telescopes up into long distance. They point it up to see the horizon in the distance. They have to tilt it up a little bit, and they can see further, longer range.
Right.
But you have to tilt it up because the curve's up, not down. Yeah. But then the
Yeah,
bottom
that
bit,
was
the bottom bit just destroys it all. The bottom bit's kept secret from everyone. The third bit, the Plum Bob Experiment. It's this experiment where you hang a string like that, so it's just like vertical, perpendicular with the earth, and then you go over here and do it the same, and go, you know, you could do as many as you want, but basically, if you were on a globe, then they would converge like that. So where you're stood, it's straight, and you go over here, and he thinks his is straight too, but you're actually all wrapping around the end of a globe. It's a perfect physics experiment. So you you go like 100 yards that way and hang two strings.
right because it should be
Yeah,
pointing to the center from wherever you are.
yeah. So it's kept secret. It's called the Plum Bob Experiment. So I've look out for that video. Plum Bob divergence instead of convergence. So what you've got going on, because when you're just faced with that physics, like, wow, yeah, shocking, huh? But they've just got the mainstream to just reject it and deny it and keep it hidden. And a massive mob of flat earthers that are trained there to reject it and give you the excuses. So they have to hang
Oh
these
yeah,
they have to hang the
like
string down the pipe. So then they come out saying that it's magnetic issues and flaws and errors in the experiment, and they just deny it. It's bullying, basically. It's psychological and it's bullying. It's amazing how many actual bullies and trolls have accused me of being a bully.
I tried to find the YouTube video on big ice chunks falling, and there was an explanation by what's the guy's name from Star Trek, like he played way back, and he was did a little documentary on it, which was really interesting because you could anybody that's even half awake on these people, you could just see they're lying. Every other word's a lie that but he's saying their explanation with some weird big names is that the ice, the water, and the ice, whatever, they started coming together in the sky, just floating, and then at a certain point, the whole ice chunk dropped. And that's what their explanation was in this documentary, trying to lead you away from any kind of firmament, you know what I'm saying? That they just formed together in the sky and then big hailstones. So he didn't deny that hailstones have fell down through people's houses, as the documentary shows it. A house that had one of these fall through, and he says that they just float up there and they form, and then it gets so big and then it just falls. I don't know how people believe that, but that's one thing where I agree with what what LSC said, is that they're actually falling from an attached that these ice chunks are attached to the firmament, the glass or whatever, um, and that's the only thing that makes sense. But I want to find that. If I find it, I'm going to link it, because it's just really interesting to see how they lie to you, because their perspective is always the globe perspective. So if you have that, if they're teaching you the globe, well, then there can't be anything up there, because they went with the rocket and they went straight up to the moon. So there must not be any glass ceiling or anything stopping them. So, um, yeah, it's
No,
just interesting
no,
that you.
they didn't go to the moon.
Right, that's what they're saying though. So if they forever have to say that there's no barrier, because we already went, you know what I'm saying? They went to the moon back in the 60s. They told the whole world.
Right,
Therefore,
yeah.
they can't ever change their mind. Oh, suddenly we got a barrier. Then you have to admit we never went to the moon. Then you have to admit that the Earth's not a globe. Then you have to, they're trapped kind of to keep
Yeah,
on going with that.
they kind of have, haven't they? They've admitted that there's this layer, and then
Some hot layer or something
they
that they've
basically
never went through.
they basically said that, yeah, we can't get through it again, even though we already have. Like, we can't get through
Right.
it.
That's what I'm. There's so many contradictions.
They wanted to. That's why they wanted to make up that it's like it's new. It's like You know, like they want to make out like everything's changing and everything's evolving and the solar system's evolving and the sun's going through these ages.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Yeah.
now, and yeah,
I I just sometimes I have like the thoughts like I just sometimes I think, the devil's out there. They literally couldn't foresee the future like 50 years. Not perfectly at least, because what they did was not exactly perfect, and it's not that hard to deconstruct for anybody that is honest and wants to look into it. But now they have to back that crappy desert filming junk they did, and they have to back that up forever because they can't ever admit that we didn't go there to the moon. Now Trump's saying we're going to land like a woman or something on Mars next. I've heard him say that now, and I just have to laugh, and it's just total nonsense. um, and people believe it, and they're cheering and they're jumping up and down, and I'm just like in disbelief that people actually believe, yeah, we're going to Mars next. And I and the in Genesis, it says that, I don't know how much or in any detail, but there's water separated above the firmament. So when every time you've heard or read about, we might have found some water up there, it's kind of laughable. Um, obviously, there must be some kind of water up there, but they say like, oh, we might have found life up there because of water or something. They make it sound like it's trillions of light years away and all this junk, um, when it's all local. That much I'm very convinced is it's all local. It's not, nothing's like trillions of light years away as far as I can tell, my understanding.
I'm sort of, you'll know what I mean. I can see that we're pushed into a way of thinking for the times, like a generational way of thinking. Like everyone's new agers, they've all embraced tech and science, and then they want to know all this stuff. So I totally like regress from it. I take a step back. Like I don't care. I don't want to know. I'm not interested, kind of thing. Like I used to, but as I've got older now, like I simply am not interested. Like my perspective is that we should know what we're able to know on our own and figure out and find out and put together, or if it's in scripture or we were given it eventually. It's hard to say if we should have something and it's been taken from us and it's been lost. So I wouldn't need to know the model if it were not that the whole world's been tricked with the wrong one. If we were all just not sure what it was, but we were happy that we were created and God's somewhere, and we were told God's in the center or God's above us, or that'd be all right. But everyone's been duped, so now like you kind of need to know to undo the damage. I need to know some physics to explain to someone that they believe pseudoscience, and then other than that, I want to get like out of the matrix, away from physics. I mean, like Jesus never, he was a physician in a spiritual, like a spiritual doctor, like a wise teacher and healer. It's Luciferianism that's brought it to people interested and caring about science, like since Industrial Revolution.
Yeah,
Where,
it's like
where
been
the,
like witchcraft to
it's where the
people.
witches and the magicians have brought it to and put it out mainstream in a package and using the university system and everyone in that sort of way. So you understand it, alchemy and how it's disguised and how they use it for their great work. And so I'm trying to get everyone like in like a spiritual army, like a spiritual awakening. Like you'll still have to play ball in the system. You might still have to have a job or claim your benefits. You just still sign your name and play with money. And you might have to still use some tech. But we're trying to reach everyone with this, like, we're spiritual creatures. We're children of the Most High, who's actually the innermost, it says in the Gospel of Philip. He's saying that, like, it's better to say the innermost than the Most High. And it comes with a warning like this. It's blatant. It's like, this is what I mean. I'm different. I'm born again. You'll be able to tell. we're coming at them and saying, look, we're Christian Concavers. We rep for this kingdom, and you're in or out. We come with the revelation, the truth. We try to unite everyone. We rep for the truth. So join up with us. Like, everything's perfect and right about it. Like, you're all supposed to be born again. So why would any of you fall out? You're all supposed to love each other and unite. Not one of you should have a reason to like, nah, I don't like him and can't unite up with him. Jesus is just going to say, shake hands and get on. If you can't get on, one of you, the one that can't get on is going to get thrown out. So I've made the call. I've declared war. Declared war on the world. You're going to join CC or perish. Do you know, like a Muslim, do you know, like Jesus would say, follow me or you perish. Do you know what I'm saying? So we've got the right doctrine. Islam would say, I know it sounds severe at first, but when all the logic drops in, you are either in or out. We're either right or wrong about the cause and the church, and you're where you're at spiritually. Like, you're trying to be weak. You're trying to draw the world to CC so they can be weak, but only Jesus is going to grade you in the afterlife to say that you are weak. But CC ain't going to stop you being weak. It's the rest of the world, everyone else's models and churches and doctrines and stuff, what's going to drag you back. Do you know what I'm saying? Especially, I'm wanting to lead like an army kind of thing, like a spiritual army, to teach people how to fight trolls and stuff. I'm looking to find like an elder, that's someone that's about the Father and the Son, that's just about just teaching. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm really trying to make like a movement of this, like this Catholicism, is Islam. Islam will say to you, oh yeah, if you don't join Islam, then you're gonna go to hell. But when we get older, we're gonna chop your head off if you don't join it. So they come with two threats.
Yeah.
They come with two threats. That you join or we kill you. So what we're doing is we're just passing on Jesus' message, saying that this is the kingdom and the true church, and we're uniting here. And we're just forwarding you Jesus' message and letting you know Jesus said Father's the innermost. It's as simple as that. We're not going to kill you. And Muslims might. They'd all be better off uniting as CC to then help the Muslims join CC, and then they won't want to kill you. CC would help atheists and Muslims come out of Islam and atheism, because it's not Catholicism or some stupid church. It's this truther revolutionary movement that's broke the revelation. And actually, it's not a Zionist, because the Muslims, they just point the fingers at Zionists. It's Luciferians, and we're born agains, and we're responsible for this revelation. In the end, they're just turning their back on the Father, the Son, and the source of the revelation. That's what everyone's doing. It's the way it is, bro. I'm the source of this revelation, yes. Other people had beat me to Concave. There was a couple of other Christian Concavers before me. Not many, and not any that were younger than me, really, but there was a couple. But none of them knew that Jesus had said Father is the innermost. And for me, that just trumps it all. We win. CC wins. Do you get me? We like in this truth and matrix thing, what's going on? We've broke out of it. We're out of it. We're out of the matrix. We know that we need to be born again. We've figured out we're in concave. It destroys everything, because when it comes to like the alien deception or anything, it's like, nah, scripture's true, and you just interpret it through like concave earth. The fallen have only been thrown out of just up there. That totally makes sense. Do you know what I mean? The whole model, like scripture, and that's where I'm not sure about Apostle Paul. Just the fact that I'm not sure about it, to me, just basically says that it's wrong, it's off, and that the reason why is the doubt there, and why I let it be. It's like, it's the cleverness of it, and that it has been given, and that everyone has got its support, and some like a Christian that's not a proper truther like me and you, there's no way that they'll accept that Paul might be false, so they'll call me a heretic and the bad guy and all this stuff. But what I've done is I've had to really think about what's going on, and I'm good with psyop, so I'm like, I understand what's happened with the timeline and history and the doctrine. So you had Moses and stuff, and then Jesus came. Right now, Paul's come. Has Paul changed Jesus, or is he just backing it up like the others? And I have to say, it does look like there's just a slight change of it. Or the people and the Satanists and the elite they've used this saved by grace and things in Paul's to change stuff. So it's got my attention. I've then noticed that a lot of deep thinkers and real strong, passionate lovers of Jesus are really on this Paul's false kind of thing. And I see people flip back and forth, and I do too. I'm thinking, yeah, Paul's false, and then it comes in made like a really good line that's in them Pauline epistles. So it's like the hardest psyop to try to figure out what's going on and to get the bottom of. There's a lot to it. The Beatles have sort of touched on it and used a lot of Paul symbolism. Aleister Crowley has played about with Pauline doctrine, like the saved by grace. It's like called antinomianism in a way, like the believing that you're saved by believing that you've got salvation just by like believing and the grace kind of thing. So there's a lot there, and it's very dangerous, and particularly when I'm trying to like unite the whole world to this thing. And so like for me, the debate's open. I'd like to have a few people discuss it and us be able to get to the bottom of it in a month or so. Do you know, like, right, we've come to the conclusion in the debate. Now we just include it, leave it alone, just put it to bed, don't mention it anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like, we shouldn't tell people you can't listen to Paul. But if he is false, then give them the heads up that we think he might be or whatever. But you see, it happened 2,000 years ago, and there's a lot of people that have had success with it and using Paul for 2,000 years, and that's a lot of favouring. Do you know what I mean? Two of my favourite pastors, they preach a lot of Paul, but they do shave the face.
I get it. I get it. Like all the denominations are based on basically Paul. It's like they worship Paul. It seems that way, that the first thing they'll do is quote verses from Paul's letters, and they'll use those verses to prove, the standard church doctrine and all that stuff. But
if you go back to the time, Paul was like killing people of the way. So there was already a bunch of people, disciples and peoples that they'd heard Jesus's message, and they'd got the message. They were followers of the way. There was like a way that had been established between Christ and them disciples. Now you're left thinking that, or you're giving it thinking like this comes next, or this adds to it, and it's like, what if it's just watering it down and a distraction, and people are meant to like get to that word of Jesus, focus on it, understand it, and be transformed and be led by Jesus. And they're not being, they're understanding a bit of Paul, thinking it's all right, and not getting born again and running off kind of thing. What I'm saying is like, Jesus died, there was a way established. If we read the gospel, clearly we could get saved from just Jesus' word and the gospel. And we could also have, let's say, John, those extra books of John as well. You'd be fine. You wouldn't need the Pauline epistles to get saved. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you can't, what Paul done add to Jesus, like Jesus didn't miss something out, and you need Paul for it. So then what I'm also seeing is Jude and James. I'm seeing that Jude and James are like, as if they're aware of what's going on. Like Jesus has died, and we can see Paul and the elite, and they're all creeping in. I'm going to write about it. And Jude said, watch out, guys. Watch out, because they're creeping in. And then he's like, I know what they're up to. They're going to hide Enoch. So he mentions Enoch and the prophecy. And then James straight up just says, look, your works, like, as if he's like got hold of one of these epistles and thought, what are they doing here? And who's this Paul and what's going on? And they're both brothers of Jesus, James and Jude. And they've like got hold of Paul's thing and like, what's he saying? Blah, 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 grace and not works. So James has just written a letter saying, right, if you don't have works, then your faith's just dead. You might as well not have faith. Like, what are you talking about? No works. Like, we're on a mission for Jesus. Like, if you look at me, talk to me, man, talk to me. I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission, on a mission. It's Jesus got me doing that. You basically, like Paul wants to say, just sit down. You say by grace, let the trolls run game. Do you get me?
I hear you. Yeah,
Paul and the trolls are saying, don't start a church, CC. You're not allowed. No, the Father and the Son are saying, get it done. Tell everyone you're the leader. Right, now warn them all. Unite and join or perish. You know, everyone's banking on, like, I'm off, narcissistic, pushy, going too far. They're hoping that I'm not in the kingdom. No, what they need to do is put all the murder, all the organized murder and evil in the scales. Like, they're all go to hell anyway. You're just perpetuating all the evil and everyone goes to hell anyway. So I'm just pointing a way out and just pick your side and just get out. That way, CC that way, I'll just carry on with your nonsense and you perpetuate everyone else's nonsense. And, you know, everyone's going to be like shocked. But if they check the playlist section and add it all up, like Prince William, Zionism, jihad, what Jesus said, the troll nonsense, there needs to be a group that, for the genuine people, pulls people away from trolls and the elite and just gains some attention. Anything for it to work, it needs to be of God and Jesus. Do you know what I'm saying? That's the only fight against Lucifer. I'm like kingdom minded. I'm basically like I'm not waiting for Jesus to come on a horse. I'm doing what needs to be done. And I'll run until someone else steps. When I die, someone's going to have to take over. We're waiting for Jesus. We're setting up his kingdom. We're getting his church all spotless and stuff. We're getting his truth out. We're letting everyone know that they've kept it secret from him for 2,000 years that he said that Father's the innermost. Do you get me? Let's have an awakening, man. When you go into McDonald's, I've got a Concave Earth hoodie and t-shirt. Yeah. Get some Concave Earth clothing, even if you have to buy it from nationalised trolls. Get a Concave Earth hoodie and just go around everywhere saying, like, they're hiding God in the centre when you go out of the supermarket. Just everyone look at you. They're hiding God in the centre. Everyone will look at you like you're crazy. Nah, you're the man, Ryan. You know, I have a busy schedule and then I chill out. I like to chill out, you know what I'm saying, bro? But you're the man. So you're the man in America. That's why I've been tracking you down to talk to you, because you're aware that will people looking at the Concave Earth, you're a truther. You know, as the Father and the Son. We're on such a mystery, such a riddle. Like we're just a breed, like a breed of, you know. There's no one like us. There's no other kind like us, man. The trolls are our competition, yeah, and they've got insider knowledge given to them. They're not on like a path. They're just the kids, someone's children, and they've been offered a place. Do you know what I mean? Like me and you are like equivalent of like Prince William and Top Rothschild, but we'll never get to fight one-on-one with those or that are in like a think tank working for them. Me and you we're only ever going to see or fight with some trolls, or for now. But we're well above the trolls, but it doesn't look like it on the internet because they're going to have more friends and more support, and they're going to laugh at you, and they're going to demonize you, and all their subs will be up, and they'll have loads of thumbs.
Yeah.
And they'll make a little picture and say Ryan, little clown stuff on, and Ryan, CC leader of America, Ryan, all this clown stuff. Prepare for it, man. Full on war. You can either sit back and let them all just destroy everyone, but I'm telling you, the way to stand up and be like a little lion is to embrace this CC thing and just lead it. Like, just lead it. Be the American leader. CC for America. Someone needs to do it. Open up a Facebook, bro. Open up a Facebook, and you know, you've got my email. Send me an email, and I'll just reply to you. But sure, mate. Like I've come out with some far out stuff. and I'm totally serious, and I can back it all up. So if you've got like any questions, just on any topic, any of it, even if it's about me, if you just wanting to like satisfy that I'm genuine, or if you've just got, if there's any question you can just think of, like, what do you do for a living? What's your job, or don't you work? Because I don't work.
Well,
I'm like,
the last 3 years I was a maintenance technician fixing machines for they make vinyl windows and doors, so I was on call fixing, keeping downtime down. But right now I don't have anything right now. So I'm kind of looking at I'm kind of in like I'm in a weird spot in life because I'm just I'm tired of this standard just work for the man and do nothing for, I'm trying to do is find something flexible maybe and that gives me more time to do what I want, which only has to do with truth. But the way my last job, it was pretty 12 hours, and I just didn't I wasn't happy at the end and I wanted to find something else. And then Corona hit, like literally 3 days later after I quit, the stock market dropped that 1,000 points or whatever that day. And it's been harder to find something, but I haven't exactly, you know, tried that hard. I mean, I have been, but um, I'm trying to get in a place where I don't need to rely so much on the job. You know what I'm saying? And I'm
yeah,
kind of there a little bit. I have some kind of income from
it's
passive,
because you're born again. You don't like the satanic system. You see it for what it is. You won't like all the tech and the new age. You'll just want nature and like family and bond and just nature and God and stuff. Are you aware of the birth certificate fraud and that your last name, your surname's not your name? It's not your
uh,
name.
a
It's not
little.
your name.
I haven't looked into. I've heard some about that, but I'd have to refresh on it. A little bit, not much. I probably.
I still have to mess about. Like I have things in my surname. I have a passport, I have a bank account, my bills are in my last name. Um, if the police had to, if I really had to talk to them, I had to give them my name. It was going somewhere. I'd end up having to say that I'm this Hancock name thing, but I'm Samuel Owen. Yeah, your Hancock. The surname's not your name. It's these little truths, like we're in a system. Christ's given you a name, and that's the truth. And then, do you know that? The Luciferians know that. Do you know what I mean? So we're on like
Yeah. uh,
we're on a path into truth. So just knowing that is like you'll know now that you're like whatever your name is, Ryan, whatever, and then your last name's not yours. Just knowing that is just going to bring you closer to the Father and the Son and that connection. Because every time you like acknowledge your last name as if it's yours, you're basically saying you're not in the kingdom. You're saying that because what that last name means that you're in Satan's kingdom, that you've taken a family name in Satan's kingdom of families. When you're a born again Christian, Father God's your dad. You don't have a surname. You're all just children of God with your Christian name under the Father. Do you see how that makes sense? Like you're not categorized off with like a family name.
Yeah,
Like
I hear you.
I'm just Samuel Owen, born again Christian child of God. I don't have a last name. I'm not held to the satanic system or bunched
What's
in with the family. Like
what's Owen? Is that part of what's that middle or something first or what? That's not
oh,
your last name?
Owen was like you'd call it my middle name, but it's
Yeah, yeah, okay, middle name. Okay, yeah.
it's the second part of my Christian name. And then Hancock for me was all in capitals. That was my surname. Owen was actually my mother's maiden name. It was my mother's dad's surname, and it was my mother's surname. But then she gave it me as my middle name my Christian middle name.
Well, I
And,
mean the people in the churches, you know, the buildings, denominations in general, they're like I've told other people, you know, don't go there as any kind of primary thing because they're so hardened. Everyone I know, any truth, anything that comes out of my mouth is like, what are you, retarded? You know, basically I could see that expression that, you know, uh crazy, because they don't want their worldview to be ruined. And when you tell them that the globe's not you know, the truth or any other truth, whatever, um, that they don't actually believe Satan deceives the whole world. They don't believe that. Even if they say it or go to church or the minister says it, they don't believe it. As soon as you start giving them truth, I've heard them even say backfire out of getting a little bit frustrated. The whole world's not deceived. The whole world's not deceived. I'm like, oh, so you don't believe the scriptures you claim to believe in. Okay. But it's pretty bad in there. They're just really hardened. They have you just
everyone,
there's not much.
everyone,
It's better to go to some, just like you know, Messiah said, better to go to some guy on the street that's poor. He'll probably accept the message more likely than anybody in there, you know. But I don't know how.
well, you'll find with Concave Earth that if you try to approach people in the truth of community, they really think that they're smart and whatever they found, that's where it's at, and they just, until they're ready, they're adamant and they'll fight you. But yeah, someone that's not a truther, that's just someone in the mainstream, go tell them about Concave Earth. They'll understand it and get it and believe it. Try telling it to like a flat earther online or something. Nah, they're too like, nah, you know, especially if they've heard that concave's like, do you know, like they've seen a pool of flat earthers saying no, it's not concave and laugh it off. Like there's a
Well,
smear
I mean,
campaign going on. There's a smear
what
campaign going on that's like it's the way that the Luciferians are managing to keep control basically, so truthers don't come to Christ or just get known or a way out of the matrix. They don't want a genuine group of concavers getting known, so they've got this Zenith Atlas stuff going on.
what I found interesting about the concave Earth is that it's when those thoughts started coming in my mind after seeing some of that a while back, some of the videos and evidence, and is that it's more perfectly a 180 model than the flat Earth. And from that perspective, it makes sense. It's more 180 to the globe than flat Earth, in my opinion, because it's literally flipped around or inside out, and then you know everyone's on the outside, you're on the inside, everything's far away, it's close, you know, it's like a perfect opposite 180.
Yeah, it's inverted.
uh, Everything is perfectly inverted, and I know that's how the devil works.
Yeah,
That's what made it pretty convincing, because flat earth is not it is back, it's bad, you know, it's got some truths in it that earth doesn't move, but it's not a perfect like inverting like the concave is to the globe.
yeah, it's just flat Earth's just like halfway. It's like halfway between the truth and the lie. It's just halfway back. I've made a playlist and it goes through all like a few short videos with the main like geometry what I went through and then some other physics because there's the bending light thing that's just it'll help people to once they've understood the model to just appreciate why it actually does look flat. Even though it is concave, there's no flat model and it looks flat and because of the bending light, you can't see the concavity. So you can see the telescope in front of you there pointing up and you looking at the distance and it's the telescope's just pointing up into the air, there's nothing there. And then you look through the telescope and you're looking at
And
her eye.
there's
Do you get me?
Right. Yeah, yeah, you look at it a close up, right? And then you're going, that must be pointing to the sky, and you look through it and you actually see ground level, right? That's
it's like
yeah, that's
it's
an interesting point.
it's really weird. But yeah, the flat earthers also they have been won over with like water's flat and there's no gravity, and they're showing them memes on Facebook where they're like
Well,
they got like a picture of water like that and like a ship on the water like that and saying all this, but it really is. It's just the curve's that gradual. It's just the other way to what we were told, and instead of there being like a gravitational force that's like a pulling, like a sucking that actually would have gone with the converging that should have been there, like a pulling in. It's not. It's just. It's
well,
like it's a gentle fling from above, but there's two forces going at each other. Like there's an upward and a downward, like a lift and a sink, and it's like from the centripetal, yeah, and then because of that, because of that centrifugal force coming from the celestial sphere, it's just giving a slight downward, so like a push down. Tesla calls it universal compression or whatever, and then
Tesla,
it's making the Coriolis effect, that's that spin from the celestial spheres, making the Coriolis effect like different in all the different, wherever you are on the Earth, the Coriolis effect is like different, relevant to where you are, like a slightly different, like it's more
right? And they use
centered around the
it's like
equator.
one of the main proofs for globe Earth, but um,
It's concave.
supposedly that Coriolis effect. But they does flat Earth do they say that there's ether
ETH,
or yeah,
yeah, yeah, they are doing, yeah, because they're saying that like the Earth's not moving, the stars are moving. They're giving you that much. They're telling you that the tiny little sonoluminescent,
the water light thing.
yeah, just little sparkling little. Yeah, it's literally they give you a lot and keep you half there and tell you it's flat and then just reject concave. Serious, bro. Like I I could see that was the case, and I was having to tie in like, so what's going on with LSC? What's going on with LSC? But then once I did the like calling LSC out and carried on forward, man, I'm getting attacked and smeared by witches. I've been infiltrated. I can't get a concave comment through anywhere. You'll notice it if you spent a week trying to like, if you had 2 YouTube channels and you go around the flat Earth channels, like leave a load of flat Earth comments, and then check at the end of the week, they'll all still be there. Do the
Well,
same.
what I have observed, discerned, is you already mentioned it. And this is how people are with all kinds of truths, but the flat Earth, they're kind of they're like they're as hard as the globe. They're hardened, and they uh, I don't want to like judge them in like any condemning kind of way. That's not what I do, but people think, it's just they reject it with force right away. They don't even want to remotely look into it. That's the problem. I'm not like that. I'm trying to
Yeah.
whatever
Oh,
wherever the truth
all
leads
right.
me, but they're just like the globe Earth people.
Even though they can't explain that they've got like a full proper working model, and they're not sure of everything. They're adamant that it's flat, and that's where I knew the difference between favoring, thinking, deciding, going with, and knowing. It's like I never knew it was flat. What I did was like yeah, I know it's not moving. I know it's stationary. I came to my senses and realised no one's giving me any equations or excuses. I can feel now, and I know that I am not moving. It's not a size thing. It's not that I'm so small that I can't tell. It's like, nah, I am not moving. You know, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm 100%, like 500% convinced we're not moving.
Yeah.
That's for sure. No doubt at all about that.
Then it became like, right, yeah, they've shown me that there's no convexity, and all these people, and I can see, yep, there's no convexity. So that means it's flat or concave. I'm trying to get my head around concave for ages. It took me like two nearly 3 years or whatever. It took me 2 years. Solid research every day. And man, I just wanted to get to the end of it. At one point, it was like, the LSC thing was driving me crazy. Because once you come to concave, it's like, right then, so that means it's kind of like what I am now, basically, to everyone. It's LSC's. He's the boss. He's the leader. If Earth's concave, we need to empower LSC's group and stuff. And it's like, well, he wants you to have a tattoo and going underground bases and all this stuff. So slow down. Do you know what I mean? So I've for me, like I'm the one that's like just beat all the elite's traps and called it all out, and now they've had to make more moves. So we've watched it come in. Me and Matthew Hall have seen them bring in like these black sun trolls and these infiltrators. So I've had to explain all that to the world too. So I'm not making like empty claims when I say I'm the leader for the Christians. It's not because I'm picking something out of scripture to say blah 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 blah. It's like, nah, it's the fact that you agree we're all born again, right? And that we want everyone to be born again, not perish and stuff. And you agree that the globe lie makes people atheists and perish, right? Let's have a club, and then I know how to lead it like a military strategist in a psychological war, right? It's all about information and truth, but it's about me over bullying the bullies. So like literally, like I'm basically just like a lion against 20 hyenas. These trolls, they're just all laughing. And Brian Stavely, Brendan Daly, and Joshua Bollier, and Omni Eris. There's loads of them, and they can write something, and it comes across quite like they're smoke. They think they're cool. Man, they had me for a little bit because they distracted me with a woman. They knew me. They knew I'm short. They know I'm single. They know I were on my own and could have had someone. So they sent in a woman, and she just said that she loved me. She's like kind of attractive. Said that she loved me. So I had her over here. She posed as a Christian concaver. I've got the video of her saying, "Sam's at war with all these trolls that are wasting his time. Sam cares about everyone. Sam cares more about everyone than I've ever seen, and that they're hiding God in the center." And then she flipped after 9 months. She's gone to be a witch. She attacks Christians online. She's hiding God in the center. All of them have got this big smear campaign going on against me, and it broke my heart. She was just quiet and good as gold, and you know, I loved it. I loved it. Just got over it last month or two, but I've been having to attack her the whole way. I spoke to a little private chat because there's a Facebook group, and I put a few posts in there and just leave it. It's dead. It's so small and quiet, but it's only a year old. It's just the way it is. But there's a little private chat, so if you join Facebook, I'll join you straight into that. And I've said in there, like, guys, like, I think Angelique's a troll, and one of you is going to have to call her out. I can't because, like, it's really hard. I don't want to have to do this. I love her, and she's gonna be able to like call the police and say it's my ex is doing it. It's like I can just call out some troll witch wherever, but if some woman's gonna say that it's my ex and my ex is harassing me, man, I've got a card from the police that she assaulted me. It's on internet. It's in my playlist. It's like, you know, like military intelligence.
Right.
This is a war going on. This is like them, as in like they've got their think tanks and their agents, and they're having to do this stuff, and it's all connected. Them agencies and police and trolls, and I'm having a war one-on-one with them. So I've declared it like, right, I've set up and I lead the kingdom, so I'm the king for now until I can anoint another king, and I'm the judge and I'm the leader, and I'm having to run the church until someone else does that. I'm military intelligence. That's definitely my angle. I'm military intelligence looking for some church elders and leaders, and each nation needs a king. Do you know what I mean? I'd happily like Samuel chose who the king was or whatever. I'm not into I want some glory or anything. Nah, I just want to help everyone. Glory to the Father and the Son. Someone else can lead. The group's founded. I'll always be the founder now, but someone else can lead it. But this is the way for us to move forward. It's the way, like, you see now you've got like 50 subs. I've got 400. I've had 3 channels deleted. You want to tell the world what your name is, because they'll forget light exposes darkness. Or they'll struggle to find it again. Or you're just Ryan with the bushy hair and they don't know who you are. So what's your middle name, bro?
I don't have one.
So what's your last name?
Wasn't given one.
What's your last name?
It's Bence. It's Fence with a B. B-E-N-C-E, you know?
Ben-C-E. Right, that's like, just look to me, it looks like my brother and then Concave Earth. My brother's called Ben. It's like Ben-C-E.
Yeah.
Ben Concave Earth.
A lot of people have said throughout the years they think like Benz with a Z, like Mercedes Benz.
Yeah, that's what I said, to be honest, yeah. So yeah. Ryan Benz, yeah. The way forward, bro, is you make a Facebook and start getting a bit of stuff out on Facebook. You know, you've got your own stuff. There's other groups for you to try get your stuff and CC into. Put some, you know, add a few friends, get a few Christian concavers. I'm seeing it as like the long-term way forward. I mean, they might make a third world war and kill us all. Prophecy might be fulfilled and quickly, or we might have 100 years to go at it. We could change the world in 50 or 60 if we all crack on and just become CC. We could stop having children getting taught nonsense, global and stuff. That's where my mind's at. It's tackling all of it, right down to Islam and jihad. So I'm like, basically, I've been inspired and on this mission, and then I'm reading Revelation. You know, like I've just read the Gospel, and now I'll pick up Revelation, and like, oh man, like now I'm noticing stuff like, whoa, half of this stuff's been going on, and I'm looking at Revelation, and like, man, someone comes back to judge and make war. Now, if I say to you, Samuel, the name Samuel, and you thought about it, like, what's Samuel? It's the judge, innit? Do you know what I mean? It's the guy, you know, if you wanted to look into witchcraft and where there's writings about witches in the Bible, you'd maybe go there. And it's what I'm doing. I'm calling out witches. I'm at war with the witches. I've had to be judging who are trolls and not. I've got a group, and I'm like making, like, you could call it a list. And it's about like, I'm having to play like the authority on who's the list. So as a group of truthers, we need to say like, we're coming together to say that it's not just the mainstream we're calling out. We're calling out this big group of trolls. We've got all the evidence. We're showing you the patterns. We're all genuine. We vote all these are trolls, and someone's got to oversee and overlook it all. So I've been having to like play judge. Like, I'm aware that like I'm under God and I need to judge properly. And I'm like, is this a truth or a troll, and what's going on? And you don't want to be running around calling people trolls if they're just stubborn truthers that are off. Do you know what I mean? I've had to go through straight away in my head, is Ryan a troll? He's just popped into YouTube. He's mentioned Concave straight away. Right, now he's touching on Concave and religion and Christianity, all the hallmarks of a troll, and I've had to watch you, but I can see that you're genuine. Do you get me? These trolls that are coming in doing exactly the same kind of thing that you do. What's that?
When you say troll, define a troll, like paid.
Paid. So you've got like hidden agenda. You're disingenuous. You've come to the internet like you're genuine, but you're not, and you're part of a cult and you're paid. I mean, I did say right weirdly once, they're elite kids and they're ex-military and the cult members, the controlled opposition agents. Most of them will be Masons. Some of them will be elite kids that actually don't have any contract or pay. They've just got nothing better to do and they've got loads of money in the big house. All their troll friends are on the internet and they have jobs and they're paid. So they're just a witch that stumbles onto the internet, and they're higher up than all them that are getting paid because their mommy and daddy pays them all, and I'm the rich kid. Do you get me? That Veronica May, that's how it looks to me. Like she said, like, because all the trolls are getting paid, and Veronica were like, and I don't get, like, I don't work for the government. I've got my own money. Like, she don't even like need a troll job. She's just super rich kid and a witch, and just comes on internet and joins in with them. She's on their side. She'll do it for free. Do you get where I'm coming from? They don't all have the same deal. Some are born into it. Some are ex-military. I go around catching them all out. They do little hand signs or they've got tattoos that are. Have you heard of Nathan Roberts?
Robbins?
Nathan Roberts.
No, I don't think so.
Nathan Roberts is a flat earther. He had a popular like Christian flat earth channel over in America called Your Curveless Earth, and I called it out a few times, and then he's changed his name to Flat Earth Doctrine, and I've managed to catch twice. He's got a tattoo on his wrist, and he comes to the internet and presents himself like a lamb, proper. Do you know what I mean? Really sweet and meek and stuff.
Sure.
He don't want everyone knowing he's got that tattoo there. Like there's something amiss. Have you heard of what used to be Ghetto Gospel Team, which is Jesus Christ Ministries or Revelations of Jesus Christ Ministry?
I don't think so, man. There's so many but it doesn't sound familiar.
It's again in America. He's quite popular. He's got about 100,000 subs. Big ginger beard. I went through the motions. I was a bit of a fan. I liked his stuff. Then I was paying attention. Then I was like noticing I can't get my stuff through. Fair enough. Maybe it's held for review. But then now I've had channels deleted and I've opened more channels, and I've basically tried from like 5 channels or whatever, and they've just changed their name after I started calling them out. And to me it's like really subtle and just in my face. Like they've changed it to Revelations of Jesus Christ, and I'm fighting my butt off for Christ leading, and the big revelation that I've got to mention to everyone is the concave earth revelations, the revelation that they're hiding. So they've changed the name, come out with Revelation of Jesus Christ. They've got this little, it's like a black sun logo. The Luciferians call the celestial sphere the black sun, and they call Saturn the black sun, and they call the sun the black sun. It's code for Lucifer. They call Lucifer the black sun, so they stick this name around everywhere. Like you get like Capricorn everywhere, and they just use these same like Satan, Saturn.
Or
They
how
just
about
and use it everywhere. So they're keen to say black, like the dark, the black, the black sun.
the black hole sun or whatever.
Throw that out wherever they
Heard
can.
that in music and videos.
So yeah, it's like these literally, right? I want you to just understand it like this now, that Lucifer's known that at the end a bunch of us get together to be the revelators, and they've set up an army, 10,000 strong of trolls, 10,000 trolls that own shop in the alternative, and all have thousands and hundreds of thousands of subs, and they're the heroes and have all the attention. and most of them don't touch on cosmology. They're all there to just resist. And what we're waiting on, we're waiting on the Lord to come back with 10,000s of his saints to execute judgment upon all the ungodly, which is what Enoch said, and Jude states it as its saints. And I'm seeing that in Revelation that the guy comes back to judge and make war, and it doesn't say anything about the 10,000s or anything, not at first, but then later it does straight after it. So I'm seeing it, man, and I'm like, right. And I was like, what am I doing? Like, what's the goal? What's my mission? What am I setting? And it came to me like, yeah, I'm just to tell everyone that we've got this target of 10,000, and that there's like, I haven't said it yet as such, but there's like a special blessing and honor that will come with the first 10,000 CC warriors. That's where my mind's at. That's where I've got it at. It's like a model where
I think there. I don't know if it's Zechariah or Zephaniah. There's something that points towards a certain number of people, which I don't. I don't know the number, but people that are teaching truth. And their lives are changed, and he's not going to come back until that happens. A certain number of people. That's what I've been, convinced on. So it can't.
Another
There has to be
144,000 or something like that. You mean like another number, a different figure other than 10,000?
I don't know if
Enoch and Jude both state like 10,000. It's not 10,000s, like tens of thousands. It's 10,000. Yeah, like Enoch said it, 10,000, and then Jude said it, 10,000. There's other figures in the book of Revelation, like 144,000 and stuff, but what, like, I don't know who it is. I don't know if it's me. It's like, can you really say that you know who you are? You just know that you are. You know that you're you, and that you are, that you exist, that you are. You can't really say like who you are if you get me right. You know, when he says, I am that I am.
right. Yeah.
Because like nobody like would know who they are except like God. God knows who everyone is. We just have to relate and like identify people, but only like God and like Jesus would know who you are. Only God could really know who Jesus is, and even like God himself like would probably be the only one that like knows who he is. If you get me, do you know what I mean? Like,
well, yeah, no,
Father,
anybody who
Son, and Jesus doesn't know everything and says that the Father's greater than him. Jesus doesn't know everything. It's not just certain things he doesn't know. Like it's just 3 things to do with the end times that he doesn't know. There's so much things that isn't like it hasn't happened yet to know. That he'd have to point himself in a way to think about it to then see it or something. And it's what the elite are doing. They've got all this tech for doing it, like a time cube and something else that they've got. Like, honestly, bro, it's so deep. Just you need to sub to my channel and pay attention and be a CC. And one of the trolls popped up saying, Sam, is there a chance that you're Jesus? And I'm like, I don't know what's going on, if this is entrapment or whatever. They seem to think that I'm Jesus. I don't know. I have no recollection. Sure, Jesus wouldn't make errors. Like I make mistakes and stuff. And, unfortunately, I have made mistakes and I can't do any miracles. But they treat me like they're expecting like that I could be or I am or something. And one of them came along saying, Sam, don't you think if Jesus came back then an organisation like the Clock Tower would try to stop him? And so they've announced themselves and what they're up to. They've got this little end time, how they play the end time and how they're looking out for like the 2 witnesses or the return of whoever and how they're going to combat it all. It's like their little prophecy club, the Watchtower for like I'm going to say something then and I've just forgotten. LSC, he was put there like for a time. Like they were using him there to shield people off. but it was coming. It was always coming that we were going to get it to where, like, what went on to be CC, like, attacked it and broke it. So, like, they created Hitler, like, part of the psyop and what they did with him. There was certain characteristics of Hitler where like Charlie Chaplin was stuck in there. I've done it. I've made a video about it. I've said it a few times. You had Charlie Chaplin. You had the Nordic gods connection, like Odin and the ravens and the wolves. He called himself Werewolf. So all these various different things. LSC had the same stuff going on where he was like the Joker and the fox instead of the wolf, and all this same stuff. Do you get me? Like, they put loads of these character marks, and because I'm paying attention to it all, and I understand the symbolism, and I'm telling it up. So I've been watching it all, seeing it all. So they used Hitler as a leader and to fight the army. You put LSC in there in place to make it look like he's the one fighting. Really, it's me that is. I've come up and fought at him. And then he's gone out of the way now. That's like they've started all these new sequences. They started a new run of trolls and everything. They've started pushing a different campaign now that's not LSC. And then I founded Christian Concave finally. And within 2 months of Christian Concave's founding, what everyone thinks is like the biggest thing ever occurred. And to me, the biggest thing ever is like we've just revealed Father's the innermost. But that's the reality. But what the elite have done about it is like, because CC's just been founded, they've created coronavirus and COVID and social distancing and mask wearing. They've started this end time sequence of putting the mark into. And Corona means crown because they have to protect Prince William and the Masonic crown. They can't have Jesus or a CC leader saying the Pope and anyone's illegitimate. LSC was, you all are. You're all illegitimate. Where God's anointed, where the truth is. We love everyone. We're honest. We're teaching the truth. You know, like I'm saying, point everyone in the world to Christian Concavers to pull them out of this, that, and the other. It has to become the crown. Do you understand? There's like a Masonic network or whatever, or there's the Catholic Church and he's the Pope and they oversee all these principalities. You understand like how the Vatican works with the monarchies and the banking system. Sort of like the Vatican owns like the souls and lets the principalities rule it, and the bank's under that sort of stuff too. So really, whoever owns the bank pays the Pope to sit there and look pretty. So the Rothschilds basically own the Vatican because they own the banks, and it's just a bank that they make look like a church. But the world operates through this administration and credit system. That is,
well, yeah, and that's what Revelation makes that pretty clear too. All the selling and buying.
I've come to attack all this. Miss Terry Baby Lone Star was like a website that LSC had up. He was telling the world Earth's concave. People were just falling for it. They don't understand psyops. They were away from it. If they'd have accepted concave, they'd have just accepted LSC. He was luring them into underground bases and telling them that he was going to build a golden tower in Australia that goes up to the firmament or something like that. And it looked like a very, like what you'd imagine the Zionists are really up to. What it says in the Book of Revelations, they want to chip everyone, they want to break through the firmament, go to war with God, build a big tower, take everyone in underground bases. They were just laying it out and presenting it. Just like, yeah, we're going to do all this. Do you know what I'm saying? He was saying he was God and the Antichrist, but then saying we're going to do all this, like the Tower of Babel again. And so I had to come along and say, like, oh, this is like nuts and not Christian, not of God, like the opposite of what God wanted, always what the elite wanted. And so they've removed the website and everything. This generation and the people that are out there, they're way off, man. They ain't like me and you, like they understand Jesus and that there is God and that there's gonna be like in or out. They think we've evolved, man. And even when they realise that they've flipped concave earth inside out to hide something in the middle, they still just carry on like these New Agers, sheep. I'm literally trying to get everyone out of the matrix, out of the New Age, to become spiritual born agains that are like empowered, like you would like back in like Braveheart or something, Robin Hood. So we're all just natural. We're not bothered about keeping up with the New Age and the system and the appearances. We literally just want to try convert everyone, get everyone to Christ, and the best way to do it will be by giving them the concave revelation.
Yeah, you see that. Well, yeah, I mean, it's a major. Didn't you just say it's at the top or a crown, or maybe that was for, maybe I got the context wrong, but everything, all the lies are attached to that lie. That's how you see it. It's such a grand lie, the globe earth, that everything else just branches off of that lie. If you demolish that lie, then people will automatically question everything else. But as long as that stays, that's not happening.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can see
like
that.
the
I agree.
foundation. It's like the foundation of all New Age lies and scientism. So you used to have like paganism, Christianity, some satanic cult. They created Islam. They had religions, but everyone was based on. We don't talk about creation or cosmology, and if we did, we'd just say we're in a creation and we're created and there is a God. There was no atheism anywhere. Do you get me? Even paganism, it was like turning nature and the creation into like God itself or
Yeah,
something. So
everybody believed in
this
gods, Elohims.
whole
Yeah.
foundation of like turning like atomism and like this false cosmology of it being random, and now everyone's in this like scientism where we're all materialism. We're all focused on the matter,
Matter,
and,
chemicals, yeah.
and we think that it's random, meaningless. You know, it straight away because I'm quite deep with all this stuff, like philosophically. I understand meaning. I'm very understanding. So if you take away God, then there's no authority or meaning. There's just humans or a species. This, no, it's like guy says, I decide this. Some of you agree. Those of you that agree. And those of you over there can not agree, and you can come up with another model and agree. That's all you can do. That's all that can be done. There's no definite anything. If there isn't a God to sort of label, to judge, to define anything, then there is no anything. There is no meaning to anything. If there isn't a God that does define love, there's no such thing and it can't be defined. So it literally, if there wasn't a God, it leaves humans absolutely meaningless with, and they're not capable of anything. There's nothing would have any meaning. No one would be able to love anyone or anything.
Well, it leaves themselves as gods too, or gives opportunity for uh, controlling people in an evil way. If there's, no creator, then why not me, myself, and I be a creator? I'm the creator. I'm God, which is which is what seems like science has pretty much become, and maybe has been for a long time. Science is God as far as authority goes, you know, and
Or even
it's all
gravity.
pretty.
They think gravity is God, kind of thing. Gravity and the sun, a bit of a mix, but they because of the model they've been given, they think that the sun creates the life and sustains them, and that the earth and the
I
life have come from the sun.
Yeah, I can't. What I find amazing about the globe Earth is how big the sun is in their model, and how everything worships the sun. I mean, I don't know, at least in my mind, it's like it's so painfully obvious that the sun is everyone's god, and it always has been, and all the history shows it. All the pagan nations believed in some kind of sun deity, and or other offshoots, other creation, stars, crescent moon, whatever, it doesn't matter. Um, and I've told people when I was still going in the like I didn't it was like right in the beginning. I didn't stop going to that church that I went through, but after a while he just pulled me out of there. I couldn't be in there, and I tried to start bringing some of this truth, thinking in the beginning, naive, thinking people are gonna accept it and like it, and not, and it was just nothing but backlash. I've even told the ministers in that church I went to, the ones that teach all the time, that the Earth's not a globe, and I started, and they would not hear it, man. You could see they got real stern, real quick. I'm like, well, I guess I'm not going to get very far with anybody in here, but they all seem to hate it. They don't even want to hear it. That and I think the thing is, I've said it a lot before. They can't accept that they're wrong about anything, especially something that massive. Everybody has to see that they've been deceived at some point and just get over it, move on. But they hang on to, I need to be right, I need to be right about everything. There's no way I've been deceived about the whole entire Earth being you know, not being a globe
We
that's
need
spinning.
we need to get like aim it at teenagers. Like any school sort of kids, teenagers that I see, I'm telling them, because even if they're at school and it's they're having to try get the grades and explain all these lies, and do you know what I mean? You're still at school and you're having to go along with the lie while someone's just told you the truth, but you're having to forward the lie to get. I'm not bothered about the grades. I'm bothered about changing the world and getting the truth out. And people are always growing up. If you catch a teenager, 5 years they're going to be 20. There's no
Right.
point really going around aiming it at the 50-year-olds. They're all going to be old and dead in a few years. Do you know what I mean? So we're needing to get everyone we can, and as young as possible, and as many as possible. You're needing to hit them in, like, you're trying to alert them to the fact that everyone needs to wake up to this, because like they're trying to mark everyone. And if people don't wake up to the concave thing and realize that they're damned to hell if they take the mark, then they'll take the mark. And all these Muslims, they're going to come and kill you if they don't hear about concave earth. They'll stay Muslims. They'll be coming at you as jihadis. And you just find like ways to, like, instead of saying like we don't live on a, do you know what I mean? Like saying something like absurd straight away, like start it by just saying, right, check this out, and just say like, right, the Earth's not moving. Just say something like that. Right, check this out. Listen to this. The Earth's not moving. That tiny little curve that's there, it goes down. It actually goes up instead. Just start doing that. Earth's not moving.
Right. Yeah.
It goes up, and we're inside the sphere, and they're hiding God in the center. And then it's too late. Then you just planted that seed. Even if they reject it and run off, you've just told them that they're hiding God in the center. And that's the main bit. It's like 6, 7 words, sentence, or whatever. I've been messed about by that witch. I've had a bit of a break. My mind's getting back to it now. I'm sort of back on track, back on the path. I'm gonna try sell some of my vinyl and get a hoodie printed up. I'll have like concave picture on it. Christian concavers down arm. I'll have like they're hiding God in the center on the back or something like that. Do you know what I mean? That's what we
Right.
need.
Yeah.
We need like a little network of us, someone that's like up for, working in connection with, like, I need someone in England. You get someone that's willing to, like, stay in touch with you. And there is somewhere where they're printing clothes, but it's controlled opposition. NASA lies. Ernie Pierce. Back when I bought mine, hadn't made my mind up they were trolls. I was suspicious, but so I was just giving their email out to everyone. But we could just do with, once we've done it once or twice, and then we've just got the images ready to pass on to people, so we can just give people this thing and say, yeah, just take that and go print yourself some clothes with that. Do you know what I'm saying? Just a couple of JPEGs that they can put on a memory stick and go take into like a clothing printer. Because we can't print clothes out and sell everyone any clothes, but between us we can come up with like loads of ideas and get loads of stuff done that'll just help the truth to spread. And there's a serious war going on. The more we try to get it out, and obviously the quicker and the more we can get it out, the better. But the more we do, the more they up their pace. They'll bring another troll out and smear us a bit more and stuff like that. It's a full-on war going, and it's like, I'm just going to shut up now and let you speak because I've done most of the talking. But I'm glad you let me on, and it's been good to talk to you. Hopefully you've got some more stuff to tell me or some questions. But thanks for like letting me on, man. I'm desperate to make some progress. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, sure, no problem. Worries.
So like, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I smoke. So I've smoked weed since I was about 10 or 11 or something like that. I wouldn't say it really affects me that much. I went like a month without it, and to be honest, like, it was basically just like forced to. So since I got born again, I've not had weed for an amount of period, like twice, but really like circumstantially, and as in like I didn't choose to. So like, I'm trying to not sin, and so I tell everyone like, oh, can't break any of them 10 commandments, and you shouldn't sin, and you shouldn't do that. And I feel guilty of sin when I've messed up because of lust and because of this witch, and when I've like masturbated and stuff. When I've sinned, like, I feel bad about it. Get on my knees, pray or whatever. I just don't feel bad about smoking, so I'm not being convicted. Like, to get me. It's just,
yeah, sure.
It's not doing it. It's not doing it. Like, I smoke. I read scripture. I'll sit and read the gospel. I'll sit and read crying. I'll cry. Like, so these other substances I've done in the past and stuff. So there has been a change. Like, I would have done, or I have done other things before I got born again, and that had to all just stop. So now I would only do, like, if you came over here for a weekend and you brought some magic mushrooms with you, you could maybe convince me to just having some of them with you as well, because they're just like, God made them. I don't see that as pharmakia. Pharmakia is a potion. It's when some witches have made a concoction. They've mixed two chemicals to make something new for a reason, and then that reason's to go do some manipulating and some witchcraft, some evil or something. When Moses was told to make the holy anointing oil, that's not pharmakia. Or if it was pharmakia, then it was God's holy pharmakia. I mean, how do you want to define it? For me, pharmakia is just like, let's just say that that's just mixing things that you shouldn't, and it's bad. Yeah. Now,
yeah, sure. I mean,
is cannabis pharmakia? No, but when they put chemicals in it, then it just has become. So this cannabis is pharmakia because some idiots put some chemicals in it, and it's GMO or whatever. But then so is all the stuff in the supermarket and all the food. That's pharmakia too. So So
Okay.
I'm just super honest with myself. I can see that, yeah, like this person over here is not Christian and they're an alcoholic and they're destroyed. And then this person here is a Christian and they don't like weed and they like alcohol and they're destroyed. And this person over here, they're a pothead and they're not Christian. They seem all right, a bit dumb. This person over here, they're a Christian, they don't smoke pot. They're not right into truth, they're a bit stuck. And then I found someone else over here that's a Christian that likes weed a little bit, and it's like, what? I can't, it would seem that the cannabis is helping. Do you know what I mean? Like it cures all this stuff, it prevents stuff, it helps the growth of brain cells, it's super nutrient. It's something else, yeah. The mind control programs that they are operating, cannabis destroys it basically. They've put all this money and effort into the think tanks and the programs and the TV and everything that's put out in books and everything, and all
Sure.
all the way just helps us to just think through it all. So do you smoke weed? Do you smoke it? Did you ever?
Yeah, I don't smoke anything now, but I've had it, and I can't say that it ever went very well anyways. So it never was really like an issue at all because I was one of the people that got paranoid and stuff. So um like it seems like there's a small percentage of people that it does the opposite, you know what I'm saying? That then relax or anything. It does the opposite. And
I,
uh
I'd see it like a roller coaster that if you're not used to it, it's as if you've had a high dose, even if you have a really small dose. If you're new to it or you haven't had it in a long time, you're what's the word I'm looking for? What you tolerate,
oh
your tolerance, what you can tolerate, your tolerance
yeah,
resistance,
sure.
whatever. So if you haven't had it, it really hits you. And then, the next day, if you have that same amount, it'll like hardly hit you. So when I was younger, every now and again, I used to get that paranoia stuff. It's really like psychoactive. Like you're almost like you can be hallucinating, you can be thinking stuff. It's almost like your thoughts manifesting a reality. It's like mind over matter stuff. Your imagination can get really far with it. Like I'll think that I've got an insect or a spider on me. I've just
Yeah,
like
I know.
a twinge
Oh,
on the hair, and I can see like a crease in my pants. And now I've touched it, and now I'm convinced that there's a bug in my pants, and I'm pulling my pants off, all this stuff, and it's all in your mind. And man, I'd hate to be like I'm in the Matrix, and I've never lived, I've never had an experience outside of that. If you get me, it's almost like being like a child again. Like there was different forms of consciousness, and I truly think that, and I've seen it in the truther community, that all these scientists, people like biochemists or whatever, like bioneurologists or whatever, neurochemists, whatever they call, they're messing about with the psilocybin in the magic mushrooms because it's helping people to basically just start again. If they've had an experience, they've got trauma, you can't forgive. I mean, maybe you've had like 30 years of brainwashing, and now you can't listen to the word of God. You won't. You believe you're on a globe. You've listened to all this science crap.
yeah, you're hardened as a rock. There's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
nothing
There's
it's
no
hard talking to a
way.
brick wall.
Yeah, there's no way you'll accept God or Jesus or heaven or hell or anything. But if you just have these mushrooms, you can just like shake it or like forgive. Like I can imagine there's people that just have like they hate some like their mom's boyfriend or their ex-partner, or they just hate someone. They can't let go. Do you get it?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I picture like my mother's, sorry, my son's mother, my son's mother's mother, my son's mother's mother. Man, they should all just know that men know better and not interfere. But she did interfere, and I had to have a go at her. And I've forgiven her, and I just want to get born again. She's a bit into truthing for an old woman, and she's like, she's not too bad, you know what I mean? She's like touching on flat Earth, so I'm like trying to get across that it's like it's concave, and I want them to like realize that I'm all right, I'm a good guy, I love you all, I could teach you loads, but now she hates me, and for me, like she won't change unless she had some magic mushrooms. If she had some magic mushrooms, and then she were like sort of tripping out of her head while she were on them for a minute, and then someone just posed it at her while she was on them, or like the next day. When last time you heard from Sam or something? Then it just like without just I have to bring in all this baggage of this hate that I've this bad habit of this baggage of this hate that I've had riding along with it every time. Like you say this, so I attach it with that. You say this, and it brings up all these angry feelings from the past, and I hate that. Nah, just let go of it. It was in the past. People make mistakes. We all need to love each other. See, I know about that, like for that forgiving, that we're all making mistakes. We're all suffering. We're all deceived. We've all been.
Yeah, that's an interesting topic all by itself on the forgiveness, because I think there's a lot of people, believers, they say they believe, but they still have buried deep inside unforgiveness about whatever past happened, and I could see it. I don't ever name names and stuff like this, but just in my experience talking to some people, they're still holding on. They're still, and that eats you up. That kills you. That kills the spirit. And you have to forgive them, or else you're not going to get that forgiveness.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we're taught anyways. You won't be forgiven. You're not going to have that, however anybody wants to say it, life, peace. It's no good. It's rotten.
Yeah. It's an exchange. It's like a contract that's taken place and then is taking place. It's like a release. It's like you're holding on to it and you're destroying yourself with it until you just let it go. And it's that, like you say, you're not going to get forgiven for any of your stuff if you're holding on to forgiveness. You just simply aren't going to make it. You need to just like Jesus, like he went to the cross and let them kill him, and like forgive them. They don't know what they're doing. Like you've just got to. What's hard is when it happens straight away, and so people they're not like Mr. Perfect, super righteous, so you never like retaliate or react to anything. But within 2 hours, within 24 hours, you should basically, I think even in scriptures it'll probably say something like, don't go to sleep in a bad mood, like
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
with
Whatever it is,
wrath before the sun goes down or something.
forget about it and let go and forgive before you go to bed, kind of thing. So that's how it is with me. Like I'll get angry with people. My neighbours will do me head and I'll shout at them. And then like 5 minutes later, I'm like, man, I love them. I hope they didn't take that the wrong way. I'm sorry if they did or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Every now and again, I react like full on. And then I feel like a bit like, oh, we're a bit too much then or whatever. I feel a bit bad. Trying to have an effect though. Trying to have an effect in this world and like break the chain. Do you know what I mean? So that we're not just like going round and round in circles doing the same thing. And it's just the same next year. It's like, bro, I found flat Earth, and when I figured out the concave, I thought like, yeah, like everyone in the world's gonna know it's concave like in a year or two. Now it's been 3 years now. It's like nothing's changed. Only all right, some more concave trolls have come out and they've got a bit of an audience. It's just like that, if you get me right. 10 more trolls, they've all got 100 fans each or something. Nah, they need like the whole world needs to point and look at this thing, but it's like Mission Impossible. It really is like just for the select few. We'll always have this like let's try teach and change the world, but it's only ever going to be like a few thousand at max. Like with this 10,000 thing, I'm thinking like, is this prophecy? Is this going to happen, or is it just something else? Like I'd be interested to see if Christian Concavers gets anything like 10,000, because I've had more subs than that before. But it wasn't so like refined to like Christian Concavers. It was just a truther channel. And I was running a group on Facebook that had like 70,000 people in it. But again, that was just people against secret societies. And,
Well, there's so many. The problem is there's so many divisions, and they're good at creating more divisions. So if somebody has 100,000 subscribers, then you got 100,000 people that have 100,000, and then they all expose each other and go to war on whatever, any topic, anything in life. So it's things like YouTube or any online things. It has so much potential, but it's all divided uh, pretty badly. Facebook's divided. Just in general, everything. And then somebody brings out some of these major truths and you're just all of those people, even though they're divided, are going to go and come against you now. So it's like pretty much what you said, Mission Impossible. But suppose we get
it's worth it though. It's worth it. It's what makes it like challenging and like worth doing. It's like you have to do it. It's almost like committing suicide not doing. It's like saying to yourself, I know that the train's gonna roll past here on this track in a moment, so I'll lie down and wait here for the train to roll over me and squash me. Do you know what I mean? Like
right.
I can see what's going on, like all these equations. So I know that Islam's, whether like if the elite all died, all the Luciferians that run it from the top, if they all just died and then all the Muslims woke up, they'd find themselves a new leader and they'd be hell bent at killing everyone else still. So the world's just in a total predicament just because of just Islam. Just Islam. And that's if we were given, like, if God took away all the problems and the Luciferians, but he just left all Muslims there, we'd still have this massive problem. So, but we've got more problems than that. But what we have got is this concave earth revelation that used right, like Team CC, all of us just getting it bigger and bigger. You're going to take it to a Muslim and say, look what's going on. Like, there's all these religions. Yeah, well, there's all the peoples, all the religions of the world, they were all being given this globe lie. Now, it's Luciferians that have lied to us, and it's Christians that have saved the day, fixed it, took on the elite, figured out the truth, exposed the truth. In exposing the truth, what's being exposed is that it is Jesus' father and it's their enemy that are at war with them, and they try to break through the firmament to go to war with God physically. Like, there's parts of scripture that are explaining it, like Lucifer says he'll ascend above the heights of the clouds and he'll be like the Most High or whatever. The whole actual mission of like what the elites are being used for with the time that Satan's got because that's all he's got is like a bit of time. I'm sure that's why they call him like, you know, like Father Time, Saturn, Kronos, the time. Why that's like Saturn, Satan, because that's all he's got. It's just we're all stuck in like what Satan's doing with this bit of time, and he's just wanting to build up the tech to go to war with God, break through the firmament. I'll link you to. Have you heard about that John Dee story that Mike
John D, no,
Sarian tells?
no, I don't.
So basically, like, you know what we were talking about, the elites being like alchemists and coming out with all the science because they're getting the info off the fallen, etc. It's a bit of a riddle whether they're hybrids or not, or the hybrids are getting it. The humans are channeling fallen entities like invisible terrestrial entities or whatever. Because there's different types, isn't there? There's like these demon magicians that have like these little demons assist them to do the magic tricks. But then there's higher ones that Lucifer sends to give them all information with this great work thing. So they have like Tibetan monks channeling, or German and Russian blonde-haired women, and they have everyone channeling Lucifer. But there was this guy called John Dee, and he's known to be like 007. He was the 007 guy, so the Ian Fleming, the guy that wrote the Bond books, he knew about MI5 and all this stuff, so he picked like 007 to be like the spy's name. John Dee was 007 in the like 1500s, and he was like the top Illuminati guy at the time, you know, like not like Aleister Crowley, but similar like that, but more into like science, alchemy, conjuring
Okay.
for the great work rather than for like mind control and culture and stuff. So this John Dee was given the information, so the elites didn't have it, and then John Dee got it off these fallen things about, like, he was like basically like told like you're gonna have to mine all this stuff and get silicon. And so the plans that the elites have been moving forward from since the 1500s was everything that we later got given to in disguise as, like, they told you Benjamin Franklin put a key on a kite, and they've made it look like loads of like scientists are just people and they're just nice and they've just between them progressed to this stage, and it's not. It's the Luciferians working with these critters, getting this knowledge and this info that's not human. It's like forbidden knowledge. That's like forbidden. It's like the humans didn't have it. They weren't given it. It's not human. The angels have it. They're ancient and they were in heaven and they know things. They're above human intelligence, and they're giving us things to do that's just, they're giving us 5 things to do, and one of them is fun and nice and comfy at the time, and that's, do you get me? Lucifer's got us doing 5 things, and one of us makes us feel good about it before we die and go to hell, if you get me. Like, you've got something pink and plastic or a gadget and you sit there playing with it, but you're destroyed and you're going to go to hell with it. But all the systems in place and you've got all your gadgets in your kitchen, so you're happy. But you're going to go to hell and you're destroyed. Do you know what I mean? You drive a car. You've got Henry Ford built a car for the Masons, and he got a little octagon medal off the Romanian Lizard King or whatever. It's all Masonic, it's all the elites, it's all the great work, and they've presented it to the peoples and the public as they've roped everyone and invited everyone into it. Like, they've set up their university systems with the intention they're going to turn it inside out, hide everyone, conjure demons, and then use these people into like learn it and assist with it. Yeah. And every now and again, a person comes up with a little invention or a good idea. Like someone in England come out with the vac or something, like the Hoover vac. every now and again, some little Chinese kid comes out with a little idea, a little invention, and they just thank you, and highest bidder gets it, and at the end of the day, Rothschild's owns banking system, and someone owns that patent office, and do you know what I mean? Like, there's a whole
Yeah,
system
sure.
in place that remains in place unless everyone just willingly sort of just like yes to that, and it's not going to happen. They'd like the Battle of Armageddon. The word battle, polymos, it's a campaign. There's a big campaign, but then the elites are going to do whatever they're going to do anyway. What matters to us and scripture and like the workings of the kingdom is that we have a campaign to get truth out. It's the elite that are going to create a big. There's no way that they'll let us like just teach the world and get it all out. They're hell bent. If they can't lie to us and dominate us, then they'll just kill us all. They've got the armies, they've got the mercenaries, they've got the tech.
Right. That's what it's been made pretty clear to me that the more truth that gets out, uh, like you just said, they're not gonna just sit back and do nothing. I think whatever happens in the future, uh, and obviously you have the same view on Corona, that whole thing is part of some nonsense, deception. But I don't.
The mark of the beast. The mark of the beast
Um,
kind of thing. It's heading that way, it's
but
connected to that, yeah.
they won't. I feel like the war, literal war, not just psychological anything, or spiritual, but it's going to break out just for that reason, just to try to destroy the truth. Some kind of chaos is going to happen. I don't know when but for sure. But it doesn't seem very, with the technology we have, like if you just get a few people, a few thousand, you don't even need that many. They can, you can spread the truth pretty quickly. It's just that it's so divided. That's all I ever see over and over again. It's just division, and so nothing ever happens. But
That's why I'm doing this call for unity. That's why I'm not just wanting to be your friend. I'm wanting you to be a CC member, and you can run it for America. Neither Rick or Matt have said, "Yeah, I'll run it. I want to run it." No one has. So if you wanted to, then first come, first serve. Whoever's going to take it seriously, who actually wants to. But this is the way to achieve unity. Do you know what I mean? It's odd. It seems really odd for me. Like I'm like the one pushing for it and founding it and starting it. But if I just sort of stumbled into it, I'd be all down for it. I'd be like, yeah, I'm with that. I can see this guy's genuine. That's what we all need. That's where the truth was. Like, yeah, he might think loads of stuff that I don't, but what he's presented so far, I'm all right with that. I agree with 9 out of 10. Or do you know what I mean? Like you might be like you don't like that I said Paul might be false, but other than that, everything's okay. And it's like, well, bro, that's good enough. And I'm happy to just not mention Paul ever. It's not important. Do you know what I mean? Let's crack on with this mission for unity. Like, I've been on a mission as a truther, and I see myself as like the leader of truthers, but it's because I've pointed myself in this area. Like I'm on the mission for God and Christ, and I'm in this cosmology area. There's someone over there working on a project, and like there's a guy called Romley Stewart, and for all I know, he might be a troll, but he seems all right. And he's teaching about the 2 birth certificates, and that's where I go to learn from. I don't know that stuff. He's been going through the law books and the different styles and manuals for the texts and stuff. So we've all had our little area and mission to be going at. And so when I'm saying like I'm leader or like I know best, I'm talking about in this area, like how we need to unite truthers as Christians against the loosies and how we need to destroy flat Earth and the troll network. Do you know what I mean? And I wouldn't be saying like, oh, like I have complete superior knowledge. Nah, if anyone else has stumbled onto this stuff and knows all that same stuff that I know, then they know as much as me. We're all joint first and second and third. Do you know what I mean? I'm proper trying to get it all rolling. I've made quite a lot of statements. I've actually called myself the Messiah. I've had to. I know that's going far out. I shouldn't have said the Messiah just on my own, on its own like that, but more like this Concave Messiah, Christian Concave's Messiah. Like it's kind of complicated, but there's like the two areas. The fact that the elite have been using agents and calling them Messiah, like they had LSC as God. Then someone came in that was around called Zibran, and he called himself like the Messiah or the King. And then Joshua James Bolliero, you'll see him kicking around Zenith Atlas, and we've got him a picture with a clown nose on. He said on Facebook that he is the Son of God. He said that he is the Son of God. Right? He might have a couple of other times made references or mentioned it, but got a screenshot of it once in writing. And then after that, someone that he's not really been in Concave at all like them other three were. But he were. Someone said that he were a flat earther troll or whatever. But now he's said that he's Jesus, he's the Son of God. And he's called Justin Ray. And you know that witch, that Veronica May. If you find her channel, go find it, Veronica May. Put in Veronica Concave. She's touching on LSC and then me and then Justin Ray. Because they're chucking about all these messiahs and stuff. My enemies like being pushed about. They're rejecting me. They're wanting to say like he acts as if he thinks it's like, nah, I am. If there is one, then I am. You've had three other like Luciferians calling themselves Son of God and Messiah, and you're all my enemy. And I've been at war with them. It couldn't get more personal. Like it's like I don't know that I'm Jesus. I feel like I work for a spirit that I've never seen. But then I feel like I am in like I'm at war for him. I'm full like. Do you get me? It's like someone saying, put on these gloves and go in the ring, you got to fight for Jesus. Right, okay. Do you know what I mean? And like, Jesus didn't show up, so now I've got to get in the ring and fight because Jesus isn't here. And now I'm in the ring with Satan with these gloves on, and I'm actually doing this thing, and I've got to, and I'm in Jesus' corner. Do you get me? So yeah, one of the trolls has asked me if I'm Jesus. And I'm not, man. I'm not. Do you know what I mean? He comes back with a new name. I don't have any memories. Like Jesus would know who he was or something. And so if I was Jesus, then it's not going to change. If I was Jesus, then Jesus doesn't come back to tell you that he can remember who he is and he knows what he's doing. And nah, I'm like you. I'm like, I'll learn some more tomorrow and see it clearer tomorrow, and we've just got to cross whatever bridge we come to, and we're gonna make mistakes and we're gonna fall into traps, and we've just got to do as best that. I'm just like that, but I'm leading. I'm like Moses. I'm like Moses, bro. I'm like the leader to say, come on, let's get out of like Egypt and go off into the desert. Let's just do this CC thing wherever it takes us. Seriously. And you're gonna be like the American Moses. You're gonna have to run, like someone's gonna have to run the Team America thing. It's first port of call for me. I don't really know anyone with Christian Concavers. There's just one down the road. There's just two of us. There's not what to do. But someone needs to set up like the Facebook group for the American Christian Concavers. Call it what you want, bro. USCC. Pick your name for your American Christian Concavers. If you don't want to lead it, at least, be looking for someone to. because this is all a war where the elite want to come in and dominate and hijack it. So they've already, like, there's a smear campaign saying that I'm a bad guy. Veronica May saying I'm a liar. Joshua James Bollier or Zenith Atlas saying I'm toxic. Luckily, we've held back and they haven't like actually gone and made like another Christian Concave since like their LSC thing. They've got a couple of Facebook groups that are not Christian. They've got one called the Black Wheel Matrix. I'm not sure how you're familiar with everything, but the black sun that I keep mentioning, it's like a swastika. It's a black sun wheel, and then you know what the Matrix is. So these cheeky Luciferians come in and started a group called the Order of the Black Wheel Matrix. These like it's 25 times more members in there than there is CC. From a newbie that's come into Concave, like I've been like a truthful warrior, and then I came and did something like semi-heroic, led the way, had all my subs deleted. Everyone just embraces this newbie that does nothing other than shows you his tattoo, shows you his like, instead of saying like I'm Luciferian, I'm Satanist, kind of like just like saying I'm into science and there's nothing to believe. We all evolved or something, but yeah, that's Concave. Let's talk about some theoretical physics of what might be in the center. The Order of the Black Wheel Matrix, where all your egos are welcome and all your pseudonyms and your anonymous accounts. Man, I'm so sick of it all. I've just made a video and I was screaming, bro. Two days ago, Ryan, I was screaming. I made an half an hour video screaming. This is a truthers, not a troll. Screaming. And then after it finished, I thought, that was too much. I can't. Everyone will just unsub and hate you. You're not going to get them to help you. They'll just think you're irrational. You're not a good role model. You're not a good leader. You're not in control. You're just a bad. Nah, I'm bringing you wrath of God. There's people that are going to hell. I was trying to avoid that. You're probably going to go with them. Just on the fact that you've got an issue with me rather than Rothschilds and stuff. So anyway, I did another video and then at the end I still started screaming and just telling everyone, you're going to be CC. Just bow to this CC thing. If Jesus floated down, said Earth's concave, I want to get the kingdom on the go. We're doing it. Get rid of these Rothschilds. Can't you just do a magic trick, Jesus? Haven't you got a flying horse with eyes, with lasers? Can't you just disintegrate them all? Just speak a word and just get some angels and just get them out of here. Do you know what I mean? I'm just infuriated. I've been like 3 years at war and it's just like going nowhere. Like Owen Benjamin's a troll and he could come in and impress everyone. He's already got a platform. But the elite, they've got like, come on, man, they've got like 10,000. They've got like 10,000 guys they could just pay, or they're already paid. They just need to tell them to go do it. To go sell Owen Benjamin, go make a video and say he's great. Go introduce him with a smile. Say, Owen, everyone, two Luciferians selling each other. Us Christian concavers need to start doing it. I'm sick of warning the world, and everyone's left me to do it. And the prophecy when Jesus comes at the end. Everyone thinks every eye shall see him and everyone's going to know who he is, and it's a glorious occasion. But in Isaiah, he comes to tread the winepress, and he's doing it alone because nobody will help him. Nobody will help him. And so is Jesus coming back, right, to chop people up with a sword, or is he coming back to have a word war? Is it a sword war or a word war? What do you reckon? What would be your guess, that Jesus comes back to kill people?
No, that's the sword is his word, and it's coming out of his mouth. It's not.
So that's what I mean.
Sword coming out and just start slashing people, you know.
I'm totally in Jesus' character. If it got to the end, I'd just be like, why have I, if I'm the Son of God, why am I so confused? Why didn't I know things? What's going on? Why did people know things when I didn't? What? Do you know what I mean? So I can't accept it. There's no. Do you know what I mean? But I have said to people, like, someone like, are you Jesus? No, but I'm concerned that I might be the character at the end in the book of Revelation or whatever. I'm a forerunner to him. I work for him. I understand what all that's about. I'm doing the same stuff. It's just so weird, bro. But again, I'm born again. I've no friends. I'm out of the matrix. I'm not a new ager. I don't care about one human version, like my reputation amongst a human. I do what I do for Father. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not like gonna worry about what I'm doing for the rep, but I do have to consider the psychological approach I'm taking. Like, this is another thing that I say to people, and they're a bit like, whoa, at first when I say it, that I'm conducting a psychological operation, and so are you when you try to teach. Like, there's good ones and bad ones. That it's a psychological operation isn't evil. It's just that it can be evil. It's not like witchcraft where magic, it's like they say there's white and black magic. Now it's all witchcraft, it's all bad. There is no white magic, it's bad if it's, do you know what I'm saying? But a psychological operation is like a teacher is conducting a psychological operation. That's what the teaching is. It's a psychological operation. My mother was a teacher, but my dad was a lot cleverer. My mother's just average, but she's got the job. She was a teacher at school. So I've got this like teaching, like I've been around all the teachers and watched the teachers on, do you know what I mean? Actually,
Yeah.
my mum's sisters are teachers too. So I'm in a family of teachers, but my dad were really brainy, so I'm teacher minded. So I'm constantly like, how am I teaching? What if I already taught? What do I need to teach next? What if I had deleted? What do I have to teach all over again? But I've got a new camera now, so everything I did before was like, you couldn't hear it and it looked bad. So I'm kind of redoing everything and stuff. But I'll let you get off. Like, I'm starting to feel a bit drained. I don't want to take too much of your time. I could just talk for hours. This has been great, and we can do it again whenever you want. You've got my email. I have those two channels, King of Truth and Concave Earth Christians. What happened was, Concave Earth Christians was basically like my baby, my last channel. And I had 3 on the go, 3 for the sake of, like, one's for Concave, one's for all of the truths, because I'm a Christian but not wanting to scare everyone away from all my stuff. Try to lure everyone cleverly into this stuff. But a main channel and then backup channels. One just for Concave. That ended up being the Christian Concave as well. I've had the other 2 deleted. I've actually had 3 deleted, but at one point I had 3 channels, and the Concave of Christians was like the last one, like the newest one. But now that's like my oldest one, and King of Truth's like the newest one. Yeah, and I'm using Concave of Christians as like the Christian Concave's channel, basically. Like, if you made a video, like I'd be tempted to mirror this onto that. Anything that any Christian concavers do, I'd want to put that onto that channel that's collectively like for all of us. And then King of Truth, like my channel, just for like just my channel. And if they delete Concave Earth Christians, I'll mess about with King of Truth and change that into the Christian Concavers channel. So I'm trying to get going. You could call it a group or a church or an army. I'm just seeing it as the kingdom. But we could just see it as like a church. But the point is to go with it, to like, they didn't build Rome in a day. You can't do all this in a day. It might never just be more than like a few thousand truthers. It might not even get to that. It might be just a couple of hundred of us, and it's all just been that's, you know, we did us best, and that's all it was. So you don't need to be able to present or produce anything until people are ready and the numbers are there for that. Once there's like once there's 1,000 people in America joined up to like your Facebook group that you start, if you decide to or whatever, then you'd want to think between yourselves, like, what do we want to do next, or do something between us, or shall we set up like a little meeting place or something? We're always going to be limited. There's not much we can do. It's just about getting the word out. If you vote Christian Concavers in your heart and your spirit, don't matter what comes round in the ballot box, don't matter what comes round to chop your head off or force you to take a mark. The fact that you're a born again and then you've adopted this Christian Concavers thing won't mean anything to Jesus. Is not going to think, no, you didn't follow me, you followed the CC leader, and you shouldn't have joined Christian Concavers. Nah, any other denomination or church is more at risk in that sense. Do you get me? So I'm just trying to get everyone born again and get the concave revelation out. But yeah, it's been good talking with you. I'm glad I've got your name. I'll just remind you my email again. We can talk whenever you want. I encourage you to set up a Facebook group. And just before you go, before I go, just show you this little thing. What at some point, hoodies and t-shirts. I've got like 3 or 4. That's a hoodie. I've got the white t-shirts. So there's someone in America selling them at like NASA lies. They're actually troll kids, but unless you could go do them however you want. But I got this printed up. You see, it's just like a little business card. Took 2 images into a printers and just front and back and just got them laminated. So when I go around explaining Earth's concave to people, I've got this to show them. Do you get me?
Yeah,
that's what I mean. I've been doing this stuff like as much as I can think of, but I got distracted by a witch for like 9 months. That's what I mean. The key, this more devious stuff going on like little small levels. Like you'd think it's not worth mentioning. It sounds pathetic, like some small niggly, like what someone's doing something small and niggly on Facebook. Yeah, but you don't understand that this is like all the concavers would be Christian concavers if not for this thing that's going on where they've got like 20 agents all smearing each other and wriggling about, messaging people. So that someone's sat in like a studio, like a room with computers and stuff, and they're watching what truthers are doing, and they're like telling agents to go have an argument there because something's happened, so go there. And then they're deciding to pull that. And then they're seeing that someone's just found this concave stuff, right? And then they tell 3 or 4 people to go bug them. 2 of you to go attack his comments. If he starts trying to teach, you were there to argue. And another 2 assigned to be a long-term friend, to go in and introduce themselves and give you some present them a video and be all friendly and worm in with them for a few months. And if you ain't got Jesus and you aren't psychologically strong, these witches are going to tear you apart. So there's just so much going on. Like, and I'm having a battle like these infiltrators for real, or what are the agents, or is Satan playing them? There's so much going on, bro. But you're here, you found it now. It's like, this is the end of the rabbit hole, bro. Concave Earth, and seeing how it plays into everything and what's been going on. So yeah, Ryan, man, thanks for letting me get all that off my chest. If there's a role that you've got to ask, have you got anything that you just want to say or ask or anything before I Leave you to it.
Nothing's popping up right now, and I don't think so.
Cool. Well, what I recommend is listen back to this recording with some pen and paper and think or write any questions that come to your mind. And then as soon as you're ready, come back and we'll have a second chat and record it. It'll just be a bit better. I just saw you were chatting and live, so I've jumped on. Oh, what a mess. A grey t-shirt and a blue checkered dressing gown. So this isn't a very good stream, but I might take the audio of it. I just like to use everything I can to prove stuff, but we haven't really said anything that people need teaching. If we do a second chat, that'll be worth me putting on Concave Earth Christian's channel, and we'll both be on board by then. Do you know what I'm saying? You already are a Christian. I just mean, I can tell by end of week you're gonna be a concaver. You won't have any more debate or doubt that the geometry, the physics, everything, the model, you understand that they have flipped it inside out and there's no working flat model. So this whole, like, you're stationary, you could go around the globe, you'll be on the inside, the curve goes up, you go around the globe like that, you come back on yourself. You've technically just gone around God. Do you know what I'm saying? You've gone around God. You didn't go above God. You went around God. So yeah, bro, awesome talking to you. Thanks for having me on. I can appreciate I'm a bit much. I'm a bit hyper and quick, and some of the stuff I say is a bit far out and pushy, man. I do come across like a bit of a Hitler, and it's uncanny, the roles and the positions and the characters, and they preempt it a lot of time. Like there's a lot of that, like mind games and doing this now because this is going to happen in the future. And you literally have, like, my character, what I'm having to do in a role, it's somewhere in between LSC and Hitler. LSC and Hitler and Jesus. Do you get me? Like, Jesus comes back at the end, it's like a war. He's like Hitler. But it's like LSC's like the Concave teacher who was claiming to be God. LSC and Hitler have got a lot in common. Definitely check my channel, listen back to this, think of questions and get in touch, reach out to me whenever you want, bro. We're brothers, man. Brothers from another mother. How old are you, Ryan? Let me have a guess, bro. Right?
Sure.
I'm going to guess that you... Oh, I don't even want to say that number. I was going to say it, but then it just sounded Masonic, so bring it down one. 32.
Yeah.
How old are you?
32. Maybe I said that on a video somewhere. I'm not sure.
Nah, I'm good, bro. I'm good. You'll realize I am your leader. Unless you want to be mine, but we are the leaders. One of us is here at CC. Someone's got to lead it in America. I'm definitely the English leader anyway. But yeah, 32. I'm 35. See, if two people saw us together and heard us talk, they would think you were older, just a little bit. They would. Telling you, you've got like slightly deeper voice, and the way that you conduct yourself, like you're like chilling. It's you that looks like you're sedated or stoned. You look proper chilling and calm. I'm really hyper. I look like I'm on amphetamine. Like, I look, do you know what I mean? I look like I've just witnessed something crazy. So yeah, bro. Welcome to CC. Make yourself at home. The CC is not a play on Masonic stuff. It's just we're Christian concavers. Think about it. Christian concaver for Christian concaver for Christian concaver. Christian concaver. We're Christian concavers, bro. So yeah. I'll be in touch with you. I'm glad I've finally spoke to you. I don't listen to many people, but I've been listening to your videos, listening to your stuff, seeing where you're at and where you're coming from and stuff. I wouldn't get too much like caught into finer details of it. Just we've just got to all make sure that everyone gets to it, gets born again, and then obviously, you know, you got to obey them 10 commandments. Now you're born again, you can't run around sinning. Do you know what I mean? So it's like we all need to come together and work on this little model that we then need to like get out. You know, like a little package of info that we all agree on to stop the never-ending discussions on small stuff. Pick what's important, what matters, and like get enough of us to agree on it. And once enough of us are agreed on it, like 100 of us all agreed on like 20 things, then we can just move forward, and we don't even have to debate on any of these 20 things again ever. We're just bringing everyone to concave, octahedron, father and son got born again. So yeah, I'm on the mission. Welcome to it. You know, like literally, like you're my bro, man. Like, you know, give us a cuddle, yeah. You're my bro, like, yeah. So I'm here. I'm your friend. I'm your bro. Get in touch whenever you want, and you'll see me popping about every now and again. If you see me live feed and you want to come and chat, just come and ask for the link. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah.
If I hadn't heard from you in like 2 months or something, I'll just come along and say, yo, do you want to have another chat? But if you want to have another chat by end of the week and we record it for some progress, do that. I'd do that. I don't like to push people and be too bugging them, but I welcome it. I've got all the time in the world, you know what I'm saying? So you'll hear from me next month or two, but as soon as you want a chat, let me know and then we'll arrange a time, yeah? And record it.
Alrighty. Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Thanks a lot. All right, in a bit, right?
What's that?
I call you Rye for sure.
No worries.
That's what we say in England, in a bit. Like, see you in a bit. See you later. See you in a while. In a bit, mate.
All right. All right, man.
In a bit, Rye, bro. See you later, man.
Alrighty. Have a good night, man.
Love you, bro. Take care.
Oops, I cut him off a little bit. This video, it didn't become the title that I have currently. Somebody wanted to come on and I wasn't going to say no. You can listen to his perspective and what he believes. I'm not, how do I say it? Maybe without trying to be disrespectful in any way. I'm not on the same exact train with the concave earth thing on how to do things. I don't know any way better to say it, but not against him. I try not to be against cause division, but I don't know. Is there anything else I could say? I don't want to say too much. You be the discerning, judging, proper judging, not and obviously you can tell he's pretty moved about this, you know, creating a group and telling people about the concave earth. I'm more of an I don't know exactly, you know, he's got like the 500% confidence on concave earth, whereas maybe for me, I don't know. I know it's not a globe. That's just all I've ever been saying. It's not a globe for sure. It's hard to just off of a few words one time, hearing somebody, to make, you know, some of the things he said with like Messiah, like there's some things I could never even remotely say. I'd be scared to even say it. But I'm not. It seemed like he explained it well enough. Like calling myself Messiah, anything, I wouldn't do it for um, a group or anything. I wouldn't even do it for that. I wouldn't do it for the smallest, most worthless thing in the world. I still couldn't say I'm the Messiah of this, but that's all right. I'm not getting the same pull. I'm not getting the same pull to do exactly like have a different way of thinking on what's in my mind on the kingdom and how to spread the gospel and things like this. It's a little bit different, but I think that's all I'm gonna say. It was interesting talking to him. I didn't say too much, but I didn't want to say too much either. So I'll probably end this video and rename it. Maybe I'll do a video specifically with this title and make it real short and make my point, and then have a separate video or something on it. But I'm gonna have to rename this one. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got. All right. Peace.